So perhaps this will be the matchup that they can sort of take to it and notch up a 2-1.
Yeah, all right. Well, first, I guess we're going to have to see how the knife round turns out. I don't know about you, but am I roboting?
No, you're fine,
Does it
mate.
sound good?
No, you're
okay,
not
that's
a robot.
good.
You've certainly expressed your emotions so far already tonight. And we can see it's Echo who actually comes through with the knife round victory. So I'm predicting a switch, and there it is. And so Alpha Sydney will start on the CT side. So it is the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 season. It's brought to you by Mwave, and also all our other sponsors as well, not just them. Turtle Beach, Netgear, Plantronics, Logitech, and AK Racing are all on board and helping support esports and helping us grow. And really, CGPL, not just across Counter-Strike Go, but across all the games that we've got, is huge. I mean, it's over $44,000 in prizes this season alone. So it's been really great to see those companies get behind us.
Yeah, we've just had someone drop out the server, so obviously going to be waiting a little bit here. But I guess let's just talk a little bit more about Legacy. In I guess the story of at least of the past couple of weeks is that they've been dominating the Group B, and they haven't even, well, as I mentioned, they haven't dropped a map. Obviously, that means they haven't dropped a series either. So basically, they're basically just absolutely owning everyone in Group B at the moment. They haven't actually even conceded more than 10 rounds on any given map. So that's a pretty, I guess, interesting stat. It gives you a bit of an idea on how well they're doing and how much they're getting on top of their opponents. So obviously that means that they're kind of the form team of the competition, and obviously they're doing pretty well. Also, I guess one thing to mention that perhaps is something that might be playing a part in that is that it's still kind of a honeymoon period here for Legacy Esports. Obviously, when a new team is formed, you kind of do get this sort of a honeymoon period where teams won't necessarily have any bad runs for the first couple of months, and then things start to go downhill after the honeymoon period ends. But I guess we're still waiting and seeing whether or not that will get or we'll get to that point. Anyway, we are of course into the pistol round here. Alpha Sydney will pick up the first kill of the match. That is going to be courtesy of Wizard. I don't know if you're back yet, Mike. I'm going to go with
yes. Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm back.
You sound better now.
Yeah, no, we had a couple of... It's quite warm here, so we had all the doors and whatnot open. But speaking of things getting open, it's Legacy opening the vent and pushing in towards the B-bomb side.
They certainly are, but Alpha Sydney do have a pretty reasonable stack over towards this site. They have 3 players already over there. And, Lightstep, how did he get around that corner there? Echo just missing a few shots, but Lightstep does manage to get out of there okay, and they are going to rotate back in towards Warehouse. So slowly but surely making their way across towards the A-bomb site. PZ Kid will spot things out, but he gets taken down there by Offner, who didn't get a whole lot of damage of his own across, and APOC has managed to lurk into checkers here behind a couple of those players. Echo goes down, Sicko as well going down. Really nice work coming out from APOC on that B-bomb site.
Yep, and they're going to work in, and now it's a 2 versus 4 in favour, but Herbs not evens it up, but takes one back into his favour and gets caught out by Offnu in the connector there. So now being a 1 versus 3 and having no map control whatsoever, Wood's got a lot to do here.
Yeah, he certainly does. 1v2, as he does manage to take down one of those players, but Offnu and Lightstep have got a good crossfire set up here, and absolutely no hope in that situation there for Wizard. So Legacy getting around on the board to start things off. Very nicely played from them, despite losing that first kill.
Yeah. And we'll see Legacy go... Well, Lightstep's chosen to go with the UMP. We've got a Scout and an AK, so we've got a real mixed bag. On the opposite side for Alpha Sydney on their Eco, they haven't put a lot into this. Just 2 pistol buys, everyone else running USPs, and it's a B stack.
Yeah, not looking too good though for Alpha Sydney, as APOC is able to mow down 1. Gets a tiny bit of damage across, but now you can see him starting to get this slaw going. Has taken a little bit of damage, but Lightstep is coming in for the backup. APOC does manage to go down, actually. Wizard with the double kill there onto Legacy, so making them hurt a little bit.
Yep, if you can keep this, that'd be good, but I don't think Legacy are going to allow them to do that. You can see Havoc is holding the B-line there, and he picks off Sicko, so it's just Wizard left alive. He's going to try and save this for next round. And we'll just sort of see whether they're going to choose to go pretty aggressive here. If I was Offnu, I'd be saving that AK and not risking it whatsoever. But it's, Top Gun could probably go for a run here, but I think it'll just end up all very quiet, and hopefully we'll see Alpha Sydney do some sort of armoured buy in this next round.
Oh, Wizard's been spotted out, and he does actually, well, not spotted, I guess, necessarily there, but Ofnu spraying the bullets through the wall to take him down. Very nicely done, actually, by Ofnu there, but shouldn't play too much of a part here in this round. Obviously, Alpha Sydney would have liked to keep that SMG, but you certainly would have still said that Legacy Esports would have had obviously a big advantage heading into this one. Alpha Sydney, though, opting to go for just the pistols. Maybe one smoke to help them out, really, but nothing else too interesting across the board there.
Yeah, just a tiny little bit of investment. It's always good. You can always afford to buy P250s at the very least. And it's always good to put just a little bit of investment in just to increase your chances of potentially getting away with a eco win, because your USPs are just they just don't do enough damage against armoured targets.
Alrighty, well, Legacy Esports playing pretty slowly, as they obviously should be. Looking like an A take. They do have APOC coming around from the squeaky area. The rest of them heading in through A main. Just waiting for that execute to come out here. Havoc is going to be the one on point with that scout, trying to spot out in towards the site. Isn't going to get anyone, but there we go. Finally managed to find one. Top Gun in the meanwhile did get one in mid. APOC pops out of the squeaky door and picks up Wizard as well. Alpha Sydney, they had a couple of players on that A-bomb site, but none of them able to really do a whole lot there. As you can see, Top Gun now just cleaning things up. The final player there is Herbs. He's got his USP, but really not going to help too much here.
Nope, I can't imagine him getting much done here at all. But that's alright, no investment, so hopefully he at least tries to get something happening, and I think he'll probably find himself a Top Gun. And Top Gun finds Herbs in the end to finish off that round. So we're going to go into the first gun round, and this is the first opportunity that Alpha City will have to put some proper utilities into use, and they're not opting to bring out the AWP straight away. So interesting. I would have thought Siko probably would have picked that one up straight away. Acacia's a good map to AWP on, but we'll just sort of see how Legacy approach this. I'm expecting a default, a little bit of work towards B at the moment. There's not a lot of presence towards A. And Alpha Sydney have got a bit of focus on mid at this stage, which is being left completely alone by Legacy Esports. So
yeah, they had actually 3 players in towards mid at one point. Obviously, you can see that one player that was on Highway has rotated back towards the A-bomb site, but as you mentioned, Legacy not really interested in mid, at least in this round. Molotov to come out here into the vents, actually really nicely played there from from Legacy rather. Going to take Sicko down to 15 HP and actually picking up Sicko with the grenade there. So I don't know, maybe that might have been a counter strat. They might have known that Alpha Sydney liked to float someone in that vent there, and it certainly worked out for them in that situation regardless. Now they're going to make their way on towards that B-bomb site. APOC leading the charge here with the flashbangs. The smokes as well going to be covering his entry, and actually no one really watching there. As you can see, obviously Legacy Esports now starting to rotate back towards that A-bomb site, or at least towards mid for the moment. APOC has managed to lurk himself in towards the site. No one has spotted him out just yet, but he will spot the player in heaven, and now has to deal with Herbs on the site. He does manage to pick that one up as well, and it is looking like another round there for Legacy Esports, just absolutely crushing Alpha Sydney in that round.
Yeah, Legacy would have heard the vent break at some point, so that's probably why they opted for the molly, and it's a really good play putting the molly down underneath as well, because when he was drawn out, initially he thought he was fine, and then the second Molotov came into the vent, so then he had to drop into the one in checkers, and then the grenade finished it off. So really nice and smart use of their utilities there by Legacy, just flushing a player out and getting advantage without having to take a fight at all.
Yeah, it was very nice to see something that we don't, see a lot of, and I certainly would like to see some more of that coming out. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess, whether or not Legacy has any more tricks in their bag. Going to be going up against an eco round here coming out from Alpha Sydney. Obviously, you can see Havoc has opted to go with the UMP as a result of that. Light step with a nice sharp little flick onto Sicko's head there, and now Havoc has to deal with Herbs on that B-bomb site. Not really managing to do a whole lot just yet, but surely you feel in the end someone is going to go down there, and that's actually Light step charging out into mid to pick up PZ Kid. Ofnu is going to find Echo. Havoc is going to find Herbs, and I feel like I'm sort of reading a list here at the moment, because that's basically what Legacy is doing to Alpha Sydney. They're turning them into a list on the kill death feed.
Yes, turn into the obituary. Well, Wizard picks up the kill there and the bomb. Unfortunately, he has 4 to contend with, and they're all rushing towards him straight away. The most important thing that you should take away from this round is whilst Legacy, obviously the more favoured team and more experienced team, and on paper certainly the stronger team, it's to this point in time, these first 5 rounds, it hasn't been so much about just raw aim and ability, but also a lot of coordinated flashes and teamwork coming through. So that's really good to see from Legacy. They're not just focusing on going, well, we potentially have the best aiming lineup in the country. We'll just use that.
Yeah, well, Alpha Sydney have opted to go for that double op setup. CSGO going for an aggressive peek in towards A main, actually almost very close to hitting Top Gun there, but the smoke did obscure his vision a little bit and wasn't able to get the shot quite off. Now Havoc going for a duel up against Herbs. Both these orbs being employed by Alpha Sydney, but really, at the moment, not doing a whole lot of damage.
Cheeky little boost from Quadbox there to look into A main, but the bomb is towards B, and that where all the presence is sort of heading towards as well. Herbs picking up through the smoke gap there onto Apox, so that actually scared Legacy back off, but unfortunately for Alpha Sydney, is Legacy have all mid control, and one player has actually worked his way into the Z connector, which could spell disaster here onto the B bomb side.
Yep, well, Havoc has managed to find a kill for Legacy. Top Gun also picking up one. He did actually get traded out there, though, by Wizard, so not too bad of a result in the end there for Alpha Sydney. It could have gone a whole lot worse with that player lurking around, but regardless, it is now the bomb plant on the B-bomb side here for Legacy eSports, and Alpha Sydney looking like they're probably in their best position to actually find around here, even though it doesn't look that great for them in this 3 versus 3 retake.
Yep, and I'll be dropping right off now once you've lost that kill there, Wizard, and CSGO should probably not go for this, but they're choosing to, and Wizard's picked up a double, so I've been proven absolutely wrong. CSGO picks up the 3rd there as well. It's the caster's curse yet again, and Alpha Sydney picking up their first round with a nice 3k from Wizard.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of thing always happens whenever you sort of make a prediction. It just goes basically the complete opposite of what you said, and in the end there, Alpha Sydney proving you wrong, but they are going to be able to keep that double op set up on the field. So that's kind of, I guess, the important part here for them in this round, and obviously also picking up that round was quite important for them as well, but really, I guess they've got to focus in now on not losing this round, because again, that economy reset is going to be so dangerous on this CT side.
Yep, and you can see already the force is just PZK just on that pistol, like you mentioned. It's just going to put a lot of pressure on them. They're going to feel the pressure then, and you really need to win this round despite having the 2 WWPs. And they've changed up their setup a little bit thus far. And CSGO picking up Top Gun just under the corner there, and the A hit comes through here as well.
Yeah, CSGO really proving to be a strong, potent player on that A-bomb site. 2 kills with the AWP already, but not able to finish up with a 3rd. Wizard did manage to find one there with the Molotov, and this is looking like another round on the board for Alpha Sydney, but Ofnu not too keen on that idea. He's still on 31 HP, so has a little bit to work with, but has to find this player on that A-bomb site quickly so that he can retrieve that bomb. At the moment, neither of these Alpha Sydney players really giving him anything. He's just trying to make use of those utilities, but as soon as he peeks around quad here, he's going to just be absolutely decimated. And in at the end, it'll be PZ Kid to push him. Legacy dropping another round.
Yep, and Alpha Sydney avoiding the eco, or the economy reset at least, but because of the bank and lots of SMG kills that Legacy had picked up and the bomb plants they've gotten as well, able to rebuy again. So this is a pretty big round for both teams. One of these 2 teams will have to eco at the end of this one, I feel. And so far, it's the AWPs that have been proven pretty useful for Alpha Sydney thus far. And CSGO, he's been a beast of a player with that AWP on LAN, ACL, Melbourne. I remember him going absolutely ham. So it's good to see him continue the form from last year. And it's pretty heavily rumoured that he almost made his way into team immunity. So
that would have been an interesting sight to behold. But nonetheless, it didn't happen. And now he's sitting here on Alpha Sydney. Obviously, he's got that AWP in his hands once again this round, so we'll see if he can repeat his heroics. And it is going to be Havoc to find the first kill of the round there. And I mean, unfortunately, CSGO going to have to go up against the 4 versus, well, make it a 4 versus 4 as Wizard find one. Herbs, though, with the AWP, is going to be able to pick up APOC there on the B-bomb side. CSGO has found himself up in heaven as well, so you've got that double AWP set up on the B-bomb side, and actually got a player from the Alpha Sydney lineup rotating around through the B halls and really everyone's all across the map at the moment, and at the moment it is working out in the favor of Alpha Sydney. They've got a 3 versus 2 advantage, but Wizard is about to get collapsed upon. He needs to move quickly or stay hidden. Oh, I think he's going to go down to Havoc. Oh, the timing. It's crazy, this game. I don't even know what's going on, but regardless, Alpha Sydney get away with one just there for a little bit, and now it's going to be down to Sicko to try and hold on to this bomb site. A good Molotov there. Might take down Lightstep. If not, the grenade will. No, it won't. 5 HP there for Lightstep, but Wizard does manage to take down Havoc, and there you go. Sicko, easy as you like, peeks out from heaven to pick up Lightstep, but I feel like there was a lot of lucky moments in that round there for both teams even.
Yeah, just the timings were just missing by milliseconds in some cases. Wizard, that round could have gone vastly different had Havoc rather seen a Wizard interconnected between mid and B on the T side there. And really it was a very interesting, there was a lot of rotating there and both teams not having a really good read of what either team was doing. I thought Legacy had picked it up at one point and were rotating back to A, but then they decided against it when they had actually read the situation correctly with only one on the A bomb site.
An aggressive push there into the A main from Alpha Sydney, but obviously no one from Legacy really there to contest it. I do have Alfred watching that line with the pistol, or watching the angle. Really, he's watching a smoke at the moment, but you know what I mean. As Legacy, I guess, just playing this one pretty slow and steady. Looks like they're setting up for an execute into mid.
Yep, 2 smokes come down. They got smoked off the Zcon as well as onto the short area as well. But Sicko's got a little bit of a gap here he might be able to see through.
He does, he is able to see through there as APOC goes down. Top Gun, though, in the squeaky door, might be able to pull something across here on towards that A-bomb site, allow Legacy eSports some sort of room to move. Peasy Kid almost going to go down to Havoc. Indeed, he will. Now the trade is on here for Wizard. He does manage to pick it up there and has to get out of their highway area alive. Top Gun, though, does come out of squeaky, picks up Echo. Wizard doing a good job on this A-bomb site, but he eventually goes down. Now Sicko peeking out from the Z-connector. He's going to finish up both those kills. Wow, nice work from Sicko. He's looking very good tonight. 3K in that round.
Yeah, leading the scoreboard is Wizard, though. He picked up a couple of very valuable kills there. Had he gone down earlier and not picked up the trade for PZ Kid, and also the player who had come across through the A-bomb site, and that round probably would have been all over in Legacy's favour, I feel. So pretty important there. He's having a pretty rippy game, but Sicko getting some fairly big impact kills as well. And I feel that Alpha Sydney are pretty lucky thus far, because PZ Kid has really been throwing his life away on a number of occasions. He's been caught out, either with his back facing or trying to sneak through and whatnot, just getting the timing run.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not having the game of his life at the moment, as represented by his score of 1-8, which is a little unfortunate for him, but hopefully he can turn things around as we head into sort of the second half and the later stages of this half. Wizard, though, doing fantastic this game so far. 14-7, picks up the first kill of this round. Obviously an eco here for Legacy eSports. They will be able to get the bomb down, though, so basically they've gotten what they wanted out of this round. Now it's all up to Alpha Sydney to retake this one without losing too many guns.
Good post-plant situation here for Alpha Sydney, having 5 alive running into it, coming across the eco there, and really the territory and the places that Legacy was sitting, it wasn't ever going to end anything other than a huge slaw there. The PZ Kid buying economically and picking up a double kill with his MP7 as well, so he's padded his stats a little bit and actually moved up on top of Herbs on the scoreboard now as well. So. But really, overall, a super successful round for Legacy, and Alpha Sydney and Legacy are now tied 5 apiece in the first map.
Yeah, I mean, 2 strings of 5 rounds in a row for both these teams, so a little bit of momentum swing going in across this map, but hopefully for Legacy eSports, at least they're going to be able to find a round sooner or later. But Alpha Sydney still being able to hang on to that double AWP, and obviously those AWPs you can see are really paying dividends for them on this map.
Yeah. It's pretty early in the game, though, still. I mean, we're in the 11th round, but 5 rounds apiece. We can't really get a good read on how things are going, but Sicko picking up the first kill on Havoc towards the second kill towards the B-bomb site. And that's going to cause Legacy just to move back towards the A-bomb site, which is unfortunate for them because there's 3 and also a player in mid getting ready to come out.
Ooh. Sicko uncharacteristically missing a shot there, but shouldn't hurt them too much, you should think. Obviously, they have that 5 versus 3 advantage, so Alpha Sydney definitely in the pole position for this round. But Top Gun's going to get an easy kill there onto Herbs. Does get traded out straight away by Wizard, and Wizard's been looking very good at A bomb site tonight.
Yeah, it's picked up his second. He wants the third there as well. He wants to take light step down. And he gets it in the end. Another triple kill for Wizard. And it gives them the lead, in fact, after what was the first 5 rounds going in favour of Legacy is now the next 6 consecutively going in the favour of Alpha Sydney. But with the 5-round loss bonus coming through, you can see Legacy on a full buy yet again. And Havoc's picked up the AWP with just a smoke to boot and full utilities, of course, on Alpha Sydney's side, as their economy is sitting nice and strong. But again, the default, fairly passive. And really, Legacy, you lose another player early on in the round to basically just an AWP line hold. So,
yeah,
perhaps in Legacy's, Wizard picks up another one. That's been a push into A-main as well, and Herbs picks up a second for the round. So it's happening all over the map at this stage, and Legacy are looking pretty uncoordinated, and really they're sort of giving their life's way on a lot of occasions. Alpha Sydney just sort of reading them pretty well at this stage.
Yeah, it certainly feels like everywhere they're peaking, they're basically just running into an AWP, and it's not working out too well for them. So
that was a fantastic Molotov there.
It was.
Yeah.
They wanted some bub, I guess. I mean, I don't even really know, but regardless, the round is going to go to Alpha Sydney. Legacy eSports losing 7 in a row now. Obviously, they've got that big losers round bonus, but how much that's going to help them when they can't even pick up a round in the first place is a good question.
The default's not working for them, and like I mentioned, they're getting picked off by the AWPs pretty easily and early on, at both being mid and Sicko's changing it up a little bit as well. So that variance is good, but really this is what they were doing earlier at the B-bomb side. At least they were smoking it off and trying to work their way in, get close, and then rush onto that AWP as quick as they can. It looks like they're going to do something pretty similar in this instance.
Yeah, certainly working out for them. APOC hitting 2 nice entries with the Tech 9. Such a powerful weapon in the right hands. Now Sicko has managed to find himself up in heaven. He's going to need to come up pretty big with that AWP. Does manage to leg Havoc. Going to get the Molotov down. Should deny the plan here. And indeed he has.
No,
good
1 HP from Havoc. Gets away.
Havoc lucky to get away there, but I guess the Molotov did its job. There you go. There's the second Molotov coming in. Havoc really from the frying pan into the fire is probably the literal sense here, as he gets burned alive. Offnu on a big lurk here. He's going to pick up Wizard there. Might be able to pick up Sicko as well, but Echo peeks out and is able to take him down. And Legacy looking okay to defend this one here, and you can see Alpha Sydney opting to actually back out and try and keep those weapons alive. They are going to be able to pick up APOC with Top Guns there for the trade. Now they have to deal with Sicko, and I don't know if I'd be picking that up.
We'll see. They want it. Are they going to get it?
They surely are going to get it here. Yeah.
Pick it up. Very nice. Legacy eSports finding a pretty easy counter to the AWP that was proving troublesome for them at the B-bomb site. Simply throwing down a smoke and getting up in the grill. APOC with the double entry Tech 9. He's always been a very sharp and very dynamic player, and showing why he's in this Legacy eSports lineup. But now they need to continue to maintain the rage, I guess, and get onto their second round in a row. Otherwise, they're going to get reset economically speaking, and it could prove pretty disastrous for them. They would then probably lose the last round, and that would be a 9-6 half. But at the moment, it's 7-6. Getting a little bit ahead of myself in terms of counting rounds. And the default has returned. Fairly passive yet again.
Yeah, Legacy eSports do have that AWP on their side. Still going up against the double AWP, though, from Alpha Sydney, who were obviously able to buy as much as they wanted. So we're basically back to where we were a few rounds ago here between Alpha Sydney and Legacy eSports. So we'll see if this one works out for Legacy. They're going to try and make their way onto that A-bomb side. But again, I like this. They've got APOC sort of lurking around on the B-bomb side. He's going to be able to find PZ Kid there as well. So getting an opening there, but Sicko is going to trade one back straight away. Havoc does take a little bit of damage there as he's watching the line on towards the A-bomb site, but does finally take down Echo. And Alpha Sydney now in a bit of trouble unless we can see one of those players on that side go big. And unfortunately for Alpha Sydney, it's not going to happen.
Getting the bomb down now, and Alpha Sydney looking like they want to at least see if they can contest this. They've got a few extra seconds on the clock now with the increased bomb timer. So if they can get a quick kill here, they'll be content to try and get this. But I think Wizard comes through from main, unable to repeat his early heroics, and it's just RBZ left alive, and he's been spotted out, and Lightstep is on the prowl and takes him down there as well. So tying up the scoreline at 7 apiece. Last round. And it'll be a bit of a forced buy from Alpha Sydney for most of their players. Sicko running with AWP, so how quickly it turns with your economy. You lose 2 in a row, and then all of a sudden the 7 that you won in a row is just meaningless.
I mean, to be fair, they were buying double ops, I guess, so that's going to hurt you a little bit more, but you know, it's still a big turnaround. And anyway, Alpha Sydney, as you mentioned, are going to be on a force buy. Going to be looking on towards Sicko to see if he can pick up some pretty crucial kills in this round, but in the end it is going to be Wizard to start us off here. A grenade coming across might take him down, not quite. Drops him to 15 HP. Top Gun has spotted him out there, and will take him down in the end as well. So back to a 4 versus 4, but Legacy Esports just hurting a little bit on the HP front.
Yeah, Wizard doing a lot despite dying there. He put down Havoc to, I think it was 25, and Top Gun's low as well, so that could prove pretty critical coming into the latter half of this round. And really, Legacy haven't yet decided where they want to go. They're still very spread out at this stage. Alpha Sydney have no real read on what's going on either. And we'll just see. It seems to be the lurk towards B, and the A will be a fake at this point in time. It all depends on who can get the kill here for Legacy.
Yeah, all for Alpha Sydney, I guess, really. But they do have that 2 players on the B bomb site, rotating one back across the A bomb site. So the A fake working out okay there for Legacy Esports, but they do lose a couple of players. APOC going for an aggressive plan, actually going to cancel it there. And he's now going to have to get that bomb down. The rotate coming across very slowly from Havoc. He's still not anywhere near able to give some backup for APOC. Finally getting into position there in the B halls, but it's too little too late. APOC is going to go down there, and now Havoc finding himself in a 2 versus 1, but he's going to be able to clutch it with a 3K. They all peeking him one by one, and of course he takes advantage of that.
No hurrah for Alpha Sydney, narrowly losing that final round there. 7-8 is the scoreline for halftime. A big play from Havoc. It's good to see him really sort of having an impact again. Obviously he's been out of form for such a long time with Renegades, excluding the odd match here and there, but huge play from him really, and that's going to give them a lot of confidence going into the second half, having that slight lead on the CT preferred side.
Yeah, it all comes down to the pistol round now. See who can get some momentum heading into that second half. And at the moment, Alpha Sydney just bunching up on towards the boost spot, so looking perhaps towards into mid.
Potentially. Sort of see where they want to go here, and they've got one to contest them there in mid, which is Havoc as well, so they move up into short here as well. So it looks like they want to try and fake A and then head back towards B, and that's what is going to happen now. And the rotate has started to come out as well from Legacy Esports, but the vent noises let them know what is actually happening here.
Still in a bad situation here for Alpha Sydney. They've got only that 1 player on the B bomb site to deal with, and actually that's Ofnu going down. Now the bomb will be planted here for Alpha Sydney, so time working in their favor. Have to deal with this retake, and they haven't got exactly the best post-plant positions, but reasonable, I think is what I'd call them. Havoc, though, is going to come in here, picking up Sicko. Wizard, though, will take out Lightstep, and it's really just backwards and forwards at the moment until APOC finding himself a double kill. Peasy Kid in a good spot to find one, does manage to take down Havoc, and now the knife comes out from Top Gun, but he's not going to be able to close it out. And Alpha City getting away with that one by the skin of their teeth. 25 HP between the 2 players.
Ooh. Almost. It's probably one of those ones. Top Gun probably had like the vision of the backstab coming in, and then he just, whoever he almost got, I think was it Echo?
I think it was Peasy.
Oh, Peasy. Yeah, just flicked it at the last possible second, and instead it wasn't the full damage. So Alpha Sydney picking it up and tying the score on to 8 apiece, and Legacy not one to shy away from a fight and have picked up the pistol armor by.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily mind this decision here from Legacy.
Yeah, no, this is stacked towards B as well, so they're putting all their eggs in one basket, but this is the sort of thing that you need to do on an eco. You're obviously outgunned, and you need to come up with a way to try and tilt the odds towards your favour.
Alpha Sydney look like they might be walking into the trap here.
They've got the information that there's one player on A, but that's all they've seen, so I'd be pretty cautious at this point. A couple of Molotovs come through and they're going to bust to the B bomb site stack.
Alright, let's see how it works out here. Wizard is going to start off there with that AK, but Havoc does respond quickly onto Herbs. Actually picks up another one onto Echo there. Offnu in a great spot here, finding 1-2. Wizard is going to take him down. It is another round on the board there for Legacy, actually making it look very easy in the end.
Yep, ran into the stack. Alpha City, they'll be kicking themselves. And that's halted their momentum. They're going to buy back into this, which is quite a reasonable decision. So Tech 9 armor and a Mac 10 for Herbs as well. So that's pretty nice for him. We'll see how this one works. Usually most teams like to default to a faster play with a Tech 9 to try and catch their enemy unaware. And just a fairly standard 2-1-2 setup from Legacy. So they're not going crazy again, but some good nades coming in. Top Gun pushes in and gets taken down there as well. So now all the information is gathered by Havoc as he escapes as well with his life and picks up 1 for his troubles.
Yeah, Herbs just choosing the wrong time to open the squeaky door there. Does go down. So equalizing the player advantage here between Alpha Sydney and Legacy eSports. But obviously Legacy still looking pretty okay in this one, but the B bomb site completely open at the moment for Alpha Sydney, so they're just rushing the bomb over there. APOC is going to get caught out here by Wizard, but does take him down in the end there. You feel APOC certainly should have gone down in that situation, but regardless now, 3 versus 4 in the favour of Legacy eSports. He's up in heaven, and it is going to be dueling up against Sicko, who does manage to land the headshot there with the Tech 9, so we're back to a 3 versus 3. And Legacy eSports now have to retake this bomb site.
Ooh, Echo picking up 1 there, and PCK trades him out after Offnu takes him down. So 2 versus 1 now. Legacy's Lightstep is the man with the plan, and the plan is in fact to save? No, he fakes it.
Well, he's going to try and make something of this. He does manage to take down Sicko, but PZ Kid there able to pick up the kill. So 2 force buyers working out in a row. Let's see, Legacy, are they going to go for another force here? Economy's not looking too bad.
Probably could here. Let's see.
Yeah.
A pistol armor from Havoc and APOC at least. That's what I go with here. I pick up a flash and a pistol on Havoc. So he's probably potentially looking to pick up the AWP next round. Or potentially the round after because of the economic reset there. And really, Legacy over-rotated on that previous round. They were just keen for the eco slaw, I feel, and they weren't getting it. Alpha Sydney reading the play pretty well and having that lurker come through the B bomb site. And now they're just absolutely mopping up here in mid.
Yeah, APOC's going to try and do something with that flashbang. And actually there's a team kill coming out for Alpha Sydney. APOC managed to find 1 as well. So this round hurting a little bit for Alpha Sydney. Wizard is going to be able to pick up Lightstep there though. And now it's down to Offnu in the 1 versus 3 situation that he finds himself in. Does have the P250 to work with, but really just try and hope to get at least probably 1 more kill in this round. Should get cut off here by Herbs as well.
Yep, and there it is, no armor, no chance I feel. And 10-9 is the scoreline. First map here, if you're joining us. It's Legacy versus Alpha Sydney and Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 season, week 3. And we're going to go into the first gun round, albeit a little stunted here. Herb's going to stick with the Mac 10. It sort of trades off with Lightstep's Famous and Havoc, as I predicted, picking up the AWP pretty early on the CT side.
See what he can do here, obviously on the B-bomb side, so he will get some action in this round. Sicko is going to go down. Havoc manages to cross back into the site safely as well. So really nicely done from him, and now Alpha Sydney going to have to navigate the rest of this round with the 4 versus 5 situation. They still have a lot of utilities to work with, but as I mentioned, that player disadvantage is going to hurt them. And what are they trying to do here?
I think it'll eventually be a split onto the B bomb site. That's what I'm thinking it'll be based on the fact the bomb's sitting way deep into that sunroom here. But Legacy have probably got a really good counter here for what's going on because they're 1 player in vent and 1 underneath the boost here. So this could get ugly, potentially.
Certainly could. You can see Alpha Sydney just pushing one of those players up in A main as well. That's Wizard, so just trying to get a bit of map control across the board. And at the moment, again, they've dropped 1 off the boost, and Herbs doesn't look like he's too keen to stay up there for too much longer either. Let's see what he does. They're going to bring a couple more up on the boost, so now the pop flash is going to come into mid. Certainly looking like a mid entry here, and APOC finding himself in a great position to find 1 there onto Echo. The player in vent is going to back him up as well. Double kill for APOC there, and he does go down in the end to Herbs, but Really nicely played there. I guess the teamwork coming out from Legacy, very good. PZ Kid does manage to get a kill, and he'll get the bomb down here. But again, 3 versus 1, really not a huge amount of chance to bring this one back.
No, the counter flashes come through, and PZ Kid gets blinded as all hell, and they realise that he is on headshot, and headshot he receives from light step. So that'll bring it back to 10-10. Interesting. It was, like I mentioned, that setup there, that was a little bit of a bait play in terms of a player underneath and a player in vent. They can play off each other there, and that kind of ruined the push that Alpha Sydney tried to get late, mid-round retake of the mid, so then they could try and maybe split up the Legacy defense a little bit, but it was pretty well read. And the boost into the vent from the B bomb site was pretty critical for Legacy there. So another round coming out buy round rather, coming out for Alpha Sydney because of the bomb plant that they got, an extra little bit of cash in their bank, and the easier side, although Echo is a little bit short on his equipment, having just the Tech 9.
Certainly is. Alpha Sydney going to have to make do with what they've got at the moment, and they are trying to sort of posture towards the A-bomb site for now. I guess, luckily for them, Havoc is over and towards mid, so he's not going to be causing too many issues on the entry, but they will need to be careful from him as I guess they cross in through highway and that sort of area. They will get the smokes coming across onto the A-bomb site now, so immediately the rotate coming across here from Legacy eSports. They do have one player still sitting on the B-bomb site. That's Offnu, just to make sure no one from Alpha Sydney is there, but getting that rotate nice and quick is looking good in this round for Legacy eSports as they do a lot of damage through that smoke as well. You can see Echo trying to get the bomb down here. No, he's not actually. He doesn't have the bomb. He's just trying to get some kills, which he does manage to do. Top Gun trades back PZ Kid, but Herbs coming in with the double kill. Top Gun and Havoc going down. APOC will be able to pick up Sicko as well, and now Herbs from the red crate does take down APOC. And it's a 3 versus 1. Another 3 versus 1 situation in this matchup, down to Offnu now. And he looks like he's keen to go for this one, actually.
Yeah, he certainly is, but they would have had his drop there, so he's got a lot to get here. Even though the percentage of hit points quite low for Wizard and Echo.
He's going to check main, knows that there's no one there now, and he's found the 2 1 versus 1s. Only needs to find this third and final 1v1, and it's only Wizard. Both of them very low on HP, and you can see he's just trying to search. The pop flash will come out. He should peek around here. Actually, he's going to stick this defuse. This could be genius. Oh, not quite. Not quite.
Wizard just having his number there, but gave it a good crack. Offnu certainly did there. And it's sort of put quite a bit of pressure back on the economy for Alpha Sydney as well, because they're whilst, I mean, Legacy isn't fantastic here, and it's a pretty good read picking up 2 SMGs from Alpha City in terms of reading the opposition's economy, so it did put quite a bit of pressure on them there. So one of the things I did notice from Legacy that they kind of didn't quite get away with there is the fact they rotated off really quickly from mid and A, mid and B last time. It was as soon as his execute came in, it was straight into that B-bomb side.
Certainly was. I mean, they did sort of float a player back towards the B-bomb side, but you're right, they did rotate very quickly, and obviously Legacy eSports now going to have to deal with a little bit of a difficult buy here. They've got the P250s to try and work with, but really not going to be looking too good for them at the moment, though APOC is in such a good position here. He's going to drop Echo and PZ Kid. Nice couple of headshots coming out from him. The defense will be cleaned up pretty quickly, though, and now you can see Legacy eSports having to come in for this retake in the 3 versus 3, but again, they're dealing with some pretty poor equipment, and now Lightstep, the only player left alive with this P2000, and just chilling in the sunroom.
To be honest, Echo and PZ Kid deserve to die there, running into a unclear site with grenades out, so APOC punished them appropriately, I feel.
Certainly did. Still, it won't be too bad in the end there for Legacy. They're going to go 12-10 up, and this is probably not what we would have expected coming out in this matchup. Obviously, Legacy have been pretty much rolling over all of their previous opponents in this group, and at the moment, Alpha Sydney doing quite a reasonable job.
Certainly are. You can't fault a winning lead, that's for sure. And bonus for them as well, they went into that round, Alpha Sydney, with 2 AKs and an M4, and they came out of that round with 2 AKs and an M4, so they didn't really lose a whole lot there. And Legacy buying up again, and it's a bit of a mixed bag with the Mac 10 that Lightstep picked up and the FAMAS as well. And now we're going to see a little bit more of a mid presence earlier on from Alpha Sydney, trying to change up how they've been taking on the map.
APOC should get a kill here. The spray down is not quite enough, but, well, it is enough, but really not quite the best. In the end, he does go down to PZ Kid. I feel like he perhaps could have made something more of that if he had have hit that spray down perfectly, but regardless, it wasn't the case. Back to a, I was going to say a 4 versus 4, but double kill comes out for Alpha Sydney, and that's actually a third one for Wizard as well. And Top Gun does manage to trade one back, but again, Legacy eSports just not getting the better of these rounds, and Havoc now finding himself in a 1 versus 1. Surely has to save this AWP. Things getting a little bit dire now for Legacy.
Yeah, we'll have a quick look. Actually, I haven't looked at the scoreboard for a while, and lo and behold, Wizards actually notched up the 30.
Already?
Yeah,
wow.
Already. So, well, we're 23 rounds. It's going pretty well. So it was a stale wart, as some might say, in defence on the first half. But yeah, and he's continuing on his performance there. So on the other side, APOC, we've seen him been pretty dangerous, popping up here and there. But Havoc's going to be able to save that all, which is important there for Legacy. So they're going to need to buy into this one. Well, it's either buy into this one or play at 14 down, and I suspect the smart thing to do. Right? Sorry, as in, you know, as in, down. Yeah, as in they're down onto the 14th round. So, yeah. Said it a little awkwardly, but you get the gist of it. And they've chosen the eco pistol armor rather in this round, and go a little bit of aggressive as well by the looks of things.
Yeah, the deagle shot's ringing out in aim, but not really landing anywhere apart from perhaps the walls. Certainly not where Top Gun would have wanted them to go. The pop flash does come out. APOC once again proving to be very strong, and actually picks up the AK and is able to find Sicko as well. So I don't know how that all went so wrong for Alpha Sydney. But APOC does pick up the double there and really opens up the round. As I say that though, Echo is going to find a double for himself, bring it back to a 3 versus 3. So now down to Top Gun, I guess, who has that AK. Obviously APOC swapping that over to him, obviously being down a little bit on that HP. And now the retake here for Legacy. This is an important one. Is APOC going down? Top Gun does find Wizard there though. Lightstep goes down as well. And a 2 versus 1 now is Top Gun as he tries to grab something. But Alpha Sydney just playing this one pretty well, as you would expect. Not peeking or anything like that. Both peeking at the same time, making things difficult here for Top Gun. He has to try and push in towards checkers and find them. I don't think he's going to get much done just by sitting there and headshot. And indeed, he actually does get headshot as Echo picks him up. 14 on the board there for Alpha Sydney. Legacy made a good play at that one, but wasn't enough.
Yeah, no, Alpha Sydney recovered mid-round very well and picked up their 14th round to Legacy's 10. And they're in a very good position. So I thought Legacy were going to be a bit stronger on Cache, but it's not over yet. We could see the comeback. 6 rounds in a row, 7 rounds in a row happened for Alpha Sydney on the CT side. So
certainly looking good. 14 on the board, just a couple away from picking up the first map here. Legacy eSports faltering at the moment, but it's still not over. Obviously a best of 3, and even the map not quite over just yet. So we'll see what Legacy has left in the tank here. Sicko just watching in towards the B area. Isn't going to spot anyone out. The smoke's coming across here from Legacy to slow things down once again. Alpha Sydney really not getting much out of this round just yet.
No, and there's absolutely nil presence towards A. Absolutely nothing towards A, and still Legacy are holding 2 towards that A bomb site. So evidently, then they're thinking that it's just going to end up be a fake, and then back towards A perhaps. So they're holding that very defensively in the A bomb site there. So it'll be a long rotate time for their 2 players. Not getting too itchy though. Not getting twitchy. And not going to move across. Alpha Sydney go quiet, but they're going to go large now.
Yeah, there's the flashbangs coming in towards the B halls. APOC does once again find himself a double kill, doing fantastic work for Legacy at the moment, but really needs a bit of backup from the rest of his team. We'll see if they can pull it off here after that good start off. We'll pick up Echo, but it's going to be PZ Kid to find Havoc in response. Lightstep should pop down from vent here and find a couple of easy kills to start. Not to. But actually, he's going to spot out PZ Kid there. Actually picks him up as well. And now Herbs in a duel versus Lightstep. But will win it. But obviously, you can see Top Gun there for the trade. So a pretty good round on the board there for Legacy eSports. And a couple more plays like that from APOC, and they might be able to pull through in this map.
Yeah, the buy coming out isn't overly strong for Alpha Sydney. PC Kid opting with Galil. I think it got dropped for him, in fact. So, pretty critical round, economically speaking here. Alpha Sydney moving up into mid. Echo not able to hit the kill on either player there. PC Kid's going to come out with Galil and try and mop up what he started. And in fact, gets one, but Havoc taking down Wizard as well. I think he pushed in towards A main, perhaps, rather. And then in a flurry of activity, we're back to a 3 versus 2 with a 3 in Legacy's eSports favour, which is very good for them and very good if you're a Legacy fan to help build their economy and continue this comeback train.
Alrighty, well, let's see what they can do now with those 3. They don't really have much of a presence on A, but you can see Top Gun making his way back there towards that bomb site now. Going to be sort of spotting in towards main. And if he doesn't hit a player here on the cross, it could be a little dangerous for him. Obviously, being that AWP, he's going to only have one chance. Oh, nice lurk coming out from APOC. Once again, putting himself in the position to be able to just make a play. And sitting on 31 kills now. Has he overtaken Wizard? Oh, they're both sitting on 31. But he's certainly come back.
Yeah, no, he's been the highlight for Legacy, that's for sure. And Sicko's gone pretty quiet. He's sitting down at 11. He was prominent early, and he's really trailed off in this game. He was strong early on that CT half. He had quite a bit of impact with the AWP, but haven't seen him with it since. I don't think they've pulled out the AWP. Have they pulled it out at all?
He's had it a couple of times, but hasn't actually really done much with it. We did see Peasy Kid as well picking up the AWP for Alpha Sydney, but really no sort of. I mean, obviously in their CT side, Alpha Sydney were really relying heavily on that ult, but on the T side, it hasn't really been working out at all for them. So,
yeah, I guess what Alpha Sydney should be discussing now is where's the hole in Legacy's defense? What can we exploit here? And I feel and it's going to be hard to know exactly what Alpha Sydney have noticed in terms of, because obviously we see the whole picture, and Alpha Sydney will see at best half, I guess, maybe a little bit more in some instances. But I feel like they need to try and exploit the rotate from Legacy. So we're talking an A fake onto B, or potentially a B fake onto A, and then picking off 1 or maybe 2 if you're sitting smartly in mid somewhere. You could potentially get someone trying to push through. I think that's potentially something they might be able to exploit that they haven't really done yet, if they want to keep going and take this first map.
Well, it's certainly not going to be this round. Sitting on that eco. Or, well, what they should be sitting on is an eco. Perhaps they're going to force up. Who knows?
Shouldn't.
Doesn't mean they won't, though.
So at the end of this round, they're going to pick up, would it be 2,400? So, yeah. They'll be able to buy. They won't have full utilities across all players, but they will be able to buy AK. So, instead, they have opted for the couple of flashes and a smoke. 2 smokes, in fact. And they're going to come up against the full utilities and equipment of Legacy eSports, of course, winning the last 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, looking like a very quick A sort of strategy, but they have been stopped by that smoke for just a moment. Top Gunning here playing from Fork is going to get a nice 3k spray down. Lightstep as well to find 1 there for Legacy, and nice little shot coming out from Top Gun there as well. Sends PZ Kids Ragdoll flying. And a very easy round on the board there for Legacy eSports. I think Alpha Sydney almost wanted to get that one out of the way.
Yeah, well, they had a strategy, and that didn't work. They were trying to get the plant there. Obviously, that was what they were after. So you can see good utilities now, and they're opting to put quite a bit towards mid early on. That's been counted there. So it's just the 1 player, in fact, in mid at the moment for Legacy eSports, and that is Lightstep.
So Alpha Sydney have managed to wrestle control of mid from Legacy for the moment. Lightstep just watching the Z connector, but really not too keen to peek in towards mid, which is probably a wise decision at the moment.
Yeah, Legacy as well, they're playing super defensively on the A-bomb site, and they don't have the information about the players in mid, so theoretically Echo could actually wander up highway and potentially smoke off or flash off the truck area, and that could waltz into an undefended A-bomb site. But right now, it's a game of chicken. Who's going to peak first? Who's going to step out, try and get the information, and who will punish whom?
It is a pretty interesting setup here from Legacy, as you mentioned, super defensive. But
especially considering you've got to consider as well that Havoc has made his way into Sunroom with the AWP, so he's got information about that any B hit comes in early. He's going to get the information on, and the player invents. So really, the 3 remaining players from Legacy should be on this A bomb site. So if this execute comes in, they're going to have to do a full retake, possibly even 5 versus 5.
Well, often he's just pop flashed Lightstep in towards mid, and Lightstep didn't spot anyone out, but now he's going to turn in towards Highway. Does manage to spot the player. Often he's going to take this dual echo going down there for Alpha Sydney. So some nice work from Legacy to get that early pick, but whoa, a quick double kill comes out for Alpha Sydney here, and a bit of team damage comes out from Wizard. Lightstep is able to pick up Herbs as well. That's the bomb carrier. Very importantly, Legacy, they've actually dropped the bomb carrier. Alpha Sydney don't have any time here. Are they going to get the bomb down? I don't think they've got it in time. Oh, yes. They do just. Oh. And that's going to be it for Legacy. Obviously, a 1v3 retake with the AWP for Havoc is probably going to be a little bit too much in this situation. And wow, that came down to the millisecond.
Yep. It's perfectly executed plan. Jeez. Wow. Did not expect that to unfold like it did. And yeah, I think Legacy played themselves out of that one, really, by having no presence on A, despite having the information, the early information at least on B bomb site. They could afford to rotate off because they'd be able to counter at least as Alpha Sydney would be moving into that B bomb site. But instead,
well, now it's do or die here for Legacy, and at the moment they're doing the die.
Yeah, APOC getting picked off as he tried to do the counter boost, which is going to stretch the defense, of course, from Legacy eSports. But Havoc replies with his own, picking up on B, going a little bit aggressive, and that's the hot player in terms of Wizard. So now, pushed up into A main is Top Gun. We can see him on screen now, so he's going to get a little bit of action here pretty soon. And Legacy eSports probably reading this one fairly well in terms of positioning of players, at least.
Yeah, Legacy doing a good job to sort of bring things back. Obviously, APOC did go down early, and he's been there sort of, as you mentioned, the hot player on Alpha Sydney was Wizard. The one for Legacy has been APOC, so both those players out of the round already, but bringing things back, and as I mentioned it, Alpha Sydney is going to bring things back to a 3 versus 3, so really starting to get a little bit tense now as we head towards the later stages of this round. Only 40 seconds left on the board. Alpha Sydney look like they're going to try and draw a player across towards that A bomb site. We'll see what Herbs can do up on A, but you can see the Molotov coming across onto B as well. So actually just committing to that B bomb site. Herbs is going to try and pick the rotator here. He should be able to get Lightstep, and he does. Now it's a 1 versus 2 here for Havoc to save his team the map, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. Not in a very good position here. Down to 38 HP, and Alpha Sydney closing out the first map 16-13. Who would have thought?
Not you and I feel.
Certainly not.
No, I feel we predicted the opposite. In fact, we predicted a Legacy win. So, and that was Legacy's pick as well, Cash. So,
yeah.
So that's interesting. We're on to, what was the set? It was Mirage, wasn't it?
Looking it up.
Alpha Sydney's
Alpha was Mirage.
Well, there you go. Very interesting. Very interesting. I feel like, I mean, other than at the outstart, Wizard's got to be the MVP, doing a lot of work. 33 kills in total. APOC was great as well for Legacy. So he racked up quite a number of kills as well. It's the first time that, well, I think that's the first time in competition, in fact, not just in CGP, but CGPL. But I think that's the first time Legacy have dropped a map in competition, period. Is that right?
I mean, it could be. How much have they played outside of CGPL?
There was a few. There's a few maps they played to get into CGP.
Yeah.
They 2-0'd both their opponents in that point as well. So a first.
It is.
Saw it here first. So, but we'll just duck off to a quick break. You're watching the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 season, thanks to our sponsors Mwave, Netgear, Plantronics, AK Racing, and Turtle Beach as well. Oh, I can't forget Logitech, of course. They're also very helpful to us. So we'll go to a quick break, and we'll come back with a second map, Mirage. Stay with us. We'll be back very shortly.
I'd give you the flowers, the birds and the bees, for with your love inside me, that would be all I need. If this world were mine, I'd give you anything. Oh, baby, you're my consolation, and there's no hesitation when you want me, honey, just call me. Every sky.
And I've just done what Jordan did on the first map and done a lovely intro whilst he is completely oblivious as to what was going in.
I was wondering if that was the case. I was just like sitting here like, I wonder if I'm scratching my face on stream.
Oh, dear.
It's not been a good night, has it? Oh, well, at least the game's good.
The game is awesome, even if the production side of things has been a little flawed today. I managed to remember to unmute everything except for my own microphone, so that was a good one. Anyway, going back into it, for those of you who can't lip read at home, we're going into shortly going to start map 2 between Alpha Sydney and Legacy, and the headline is that Herbs and Sicko have been the new additions, and the question was, will they be able to bring the firepower to take down this superstar team of Legacy who are yet to drop a map? Well, Alpha Sydney were, but it wasn't Herbs and Sicko doing that damage. In fact, it was Wizard.
It was. I mean, I always felt that Wizard was kind of more of a supportive style player rather than sort of the big fragger. At least that's sort of what he was, or at least what I thought he was in the old Direwolves, the old Chiefs lineups, and that sort of thing. But at least in this one, at least in that particular game, he was certainly the one picking up all the frags. So, I mean, I guess you can't complain when you're picking up a map against Legacy, but a little interesting for me to see that sort of difference in the playstyles. Yeah,
and really, I mean, also being Legacy's choice on Cache. But having said that, it is a strong map for Alpha Sydney. It's one that they like to play as well. And we're going to get started very shortly for the second map, which is Mirage, if you are just joining us. So, and the third one, it's Inferno, isn't it?
Third one is Inferno, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, we missed the knife round on stream. Alpha Sydney did win that one, and they're going to be starting CT.
Big surprise. And it'll get started pretty shortly as well. But I guess before we roll into that, now that we've seen the upset map, are Alpha Sydney going to be able to get it done in 2 and completely shock, really, Legacy's campaign a little bit?
I don't know. I feel like Legacy's still the sort of team that can come back here and bring it back to a 2-1. It isn't their map pick, so I guess there's that to consider. But I mean, as I mentioned previously, like prior to the broadcast or prior to the game starting, I still feel like Legacy is the kind of team that can play all these sorts of maps, with maybe the exception of Overpass and Train. Yeah, those are the only ones that they really like to ban out. But yeah, expecting a sort of a strong comeback here from Legacy in this one.
Yeah, certainly. I wouldn't put it past them. And, you know, the Mirage is one of those maps that you can kind of work, like I say, without stretch. They will certainly have strategies for it, but it's a map that you can work a little bit easier in terms of get a default going, and obviously, I mean, the experience across the board of Legacy is quite strong. So, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think that at the very least, it's going to come down to the absolute wire, but I'll probably pick a 16-13 in favour of Legacy in this, unless we just see them return to stomp mode, in which case they'll keep Alpha Sydney to single digits.
I mean, who knows? basically, I sort of, I guess, agree with you there. I think Legacy should be able to close this one out. I'm probably going to go something like 16-10 again. Again, we sort of predicted that sort of scoreline last map, and then Alpha Sydney just went and basically, destroyed everything. So it was, it's hard to call, like we said before, because obviously Alpha Sydney knew sort of a lineup. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and I guess we could probably also talk about the fact they're leaving for Singapore tomorrow, I believe, to compete in another competition, international. So this is a factor that we're not really considering here. Perhaps Legacy are withholding for the sake of VODs.
Are we really getting? You reckon?
Well, I'm not. I don't think.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, the play didn't really read like that. Potentially they are withholding some stuff
Maybe.
at the very least. But that's.
I don't think you can make excuses though like that for Legacy because they are supposed to be one of the top teams in the league here. Even if they are withholding strats, don't you think they should be beating Alpha Sydney, especially in Alpha Sydney that's been having some lineup changes?
Yeah. But, I mean, all the players in Alpha Sydney are ones who've played CGP before as well, so I wasn't trying to make an excuse for Legacy.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you were, but...
Yeah, but it's something you could potentially consider as well, the fact that they don't want to give that away. But nonetheless, we are starting the pistol round for the first half of the second map, and there's best of 3 between Alpha Sydney and Legacy, in which Alpha Sydney are leading a 1-zip. And it looks like it's going to be an A execute with a player coming through mid as well for Legacy, and 3 on the bomb site, but very defensive there.
Anyway, let's see. Sicko is going to have a bit of work to do here. He will be able to do it, and takes down Top Gun with a nicely placed headshot from the USP. The entry onto the A bomb site coming out here for Legacy. They get in there reasonably okay, only losing that one player. The bomb is down now as well for them, and Alpha Sydney are going to have to retake this one. 5 versus 4. Lightstep is pushed out of the firebox coincidentally by Fire, so very nice work from Alpha Sydney there. As we can see, Havoc does manage to trade one back, but this is looking like it's going to be going the way of Alpha Sydney as they are starting to pick up a few frags. Ofnu, though, finding himself in a good position to take down Echo, does manage to do that. And Herbs is going to be sitting on this defuse, and that all just went pear-shaped there for Alpha Sydney. I think they just, there was that one player crossing the site that got taken down by Ofnu, and then a couple of other quick frags, and then sitting on the bomb as well. Didn't look too pretty at all for Alpha Sydney.
Yeah, it was looking very nice. Great use of Molotov to get a player from Firebox, Lightstep going down there, and then really just Ofnu popping up from the A ramp with that lovely Tech 9 headshot, and then it was all over from there. So Havoc picking up Sicko at the start with the scout, so opting for that sniper, and this looks like it's going to be a pretty easy eco slaw at least. But Echo has something else to say about this. He's picked up 1, but that's all he will get in the end. So the second round on the board for Legacy, and this is exactly how things started on the first map on Cache.
Certainly did. Legacy got off to a 5-0 start, so we'll see if they can follow it up here on this map, and I certainly think that they'd be wanting to do something like that, but then obviously they'll want to, I guess, convert that early lead into a little bit more, because really they let Alpha Sydney back into that game.
Yeah, Alpha Sydney did claw their way back in, and they've picked off the P250s again, a little bit of flash, and Havoc losing that scout at the top of mid, so he won't be too concerned. But potentially a little bit concerning there for is Ofnu going down as well, so it's a 4 versus 3 numbers in favour, but at the same time we're talking about territory as well as the bomb goes down to the B bomb site. So Legacy don't have to worry about too much. I've only got SMG, so it doesn't really matter, but they just have to stay alive long enough now for this extended bomb timer to go down.
Yep, trying to get their utilities out there to slow things down here for Alpha Sydney, and they have managed to do that, but eventually they're going to have to deal with these players. Top Gun is doing it well as he picks up a double kill now. Apoc has the job to do, and he will do it well with a double kill for himself. So Legacy 3 easy-ish rounds on the board. I was going to say that one looked a little bit shaky, but in the end closed it out nicely. So now heading into the first gun round. This should be an interesting one. Sicko's picked up the AWP. We'll see if he can get that CT AWP going once again like he did on Cache. Yeah,
early on at least he got it going, and it was a little bit quiet after that. So he is going towards this mid window, and we'll just pop onto his. In fact, he's dropped down into mid as well, but there's nothing at the top of mid just yet. They're very carefully putting out the smokes. He gets a leg shot initially onto Lightstep. He's down to 19, but the consolation prize for Legacy, despite losing some HP, is the fact that they have mid control now. But that doesn't mean everything. You still have to be able to use this effectively, and it looks like they want to pincer onto this A bomb site through connector and from ramp.
Alrighty, APOC is going to get the first kill there onto Wizard. Sicko through the smoke, I think, was going to be able to pick that one up onto APOC. Ofnu picking up PZ Kid in response. So the trades go the way of Legacy, but they are very low on HP. At least Lightstep and Ofnu are. Top Gun and Havoc looking okay. Ofnu, though, will be able to take down Echo. And now the A-bomb site looking reasonably open. There is that one player in CT, but Sicko not really doing a whole lot with the AWP. The Molotov here as well is going to force him out. And this is not looking too good at all for Alpha Sydney on the first gun round. Sicko, though, picks up one. Herbs finding Ofnu as well. Now they only have to deal with another 2 players here from Legacy. Ofnu, Ofnu. Lightstep is very low on 19 HP down in the A main area, the A ramp. But no utilities to work with here for Alpha Sydney. No grenades. The Top Gun is going to close this one out. Surely does. Picks it up. Double man spray down. Looking very nice there for him.
Legacy did their best to throw that one away, really. Havoc did not need to poke into CD spawn then at all in that scenario. Should have just let Sicko come up, but he poked from Palace looking in there, and that gave an opportunity for Alpha Sydney to make a retake happen. So a little small mistake, but and one that they got away with.
Lightstep in a dangerous position here. He's going to be spammed through the smoke and actually just hiding in there. I think he's going to get out of this one okay. Is he? What's going on? Okay, Alpha Sydney just completely bypassing him. He chooses the perfect time to push out of that smoke as well. Really nice game sense. Wizard, what? Oh no, that all went wrong there for a Wizard. Unfortunately, for him at least, Lightstep is able to turn around and pick that one up, but looking good for Legacy. Anyway, Echo is going to be trying to take a duel here up against APOC from CT Spawn. A flashbang, actually a team flash from Legacy, is going to hurt APOC just a little bit there, and actually, Ofnu is able to close out the kill there, but obviously, you could see APOC going down. Lightstep surviving on 1 HP. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he got away with it, really. It was interesting to say the least. Herbs could probably go through to spawn there and pick up APOC's gun. I think do you have an AK? He could potentially go to CD spawn, grab it, and leg it back towards him. That's what he's going to try and do here now. So I think, no, he's just playing.
No, he had a Mac 10.
Oh, that's right. No, you're right.
Still.
Yep.
Did 2 players just die out of the bomb from Legacy?
AFM. Yep. No,
Okay.
100%. So.
I mean, sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
They still have a pretty good economy, but obviously
yep.
wouldn't have been a great idea to die out of the bomb anyway.
Alpha Sydney going with the play that got them into cache on CT side, which is the double AWP setup. Sicko playing in mid, and in fact, he's going for the low mid now, but there's nothing really challenging him just yet, and Herbs will be holding the B halls with his AWP, so that's where the 2 big guns are, the big green sticks.
Well, this was the exact turning point in the last map here for Alpha Sydney when they got into that 6th round and got that double AWP set up, so we'll see if it works out for them in this round. PZ Kid in an interesting position. He's going to spot out 1 and 2, picks up 2 crucial frags there in this round, and once again, Legacy just faltering in the 6th round here. It's a little interesting, but Ofnu to pick one up and trade one back, but Alpha Sydney, you would expect, should be able to close this one out. Sicko in mid, going to go for the peek with the AWP. We'll see if he can pick anything up. The Molotov, I don't know if it's going to spread to him.
No, he'll be fine there.
He does have a smoke to deal with as well, so he should be okay there. Oh, nice shot coming out there from Ofnu, all the way down to Echo, and Sicko is going to get that smoke coming across, but he is going to be absolutely dominated there by Top Gun. No hope at all. And all of a sudden, Legacy find themselves back in the round, despite being 4 and 2 down, back to a 2 versus 2.
Alpha Sydney really should have just set back and it fell back to their bomb sites and just played number game, really, and played, sit defensively, wait for Legacy to make the move there, rather than spreading themselves up across the map here. So we've seen them take 3 individual aim battles and lose all 3 of them, so...
Herb's in a nice spot here, but he's not going to check jungle, and they're going to hear the scope, I think, as well. Top Gun should be able to find an easy kill here if he peeks around.
Yep, just here it comes, and, well, wasn't his easiest kill in the end, but he got the job done nonetheless, and that continues the onwards charge for Legacy. It won't be the turning point like we saw in the first map.
Well, it should have been.
It should have, yeah. No, Alpha City should have closed that one out, and... Now, because they're 6-zip down and they have the double AWP set up, you can see their buy is pretty average, and they're feeling the pressure that they have to get into this game soon, otherwise it's going to turn into a complete rot. But they should have gone for an eco here, because if it's not working with all your utilities in your double AWP setup, then how's it going to work with a UMP, a pistol, and a couple of FAMASs?
Oh, Herbs. Just in a nice little spot in the B apartments. We'll pick up APOC. So an early opening into the round here for Alpha Sydney, and that's what they needed with this disappointing buy. But it is working out for them. PZ Kid certainly turning it on in the second map here. He was a little quiet, I think, in the first map, but coming into his own here, this is the second sort of round that he's had a pretty big impact on for Alpha Sydney. Now, whether or not they can close it out in this 2 versus 5 situation, I guess, is the real important question. Lightstep probably should have picked up that kill. He did in the end, but made a little bit of a meal of it. Sicko will be able to trade him out there. And it's now a 4 versus 1. Havoc with the AWP, 37 HP. Should be just trying to save this one, I think.
See what the economy situation is. Yeah, he should. He's got 4-1, so that's a good call, Jordan. But I don't think Alpha City will be too keen to let him save.
Well, they shouldn't be, but they're playing pretty safely at the moment. We can see PZ Kid, though, just peeking in towards, almost towards T-Apps. And Havoc, it's the time. Oh, it's the timing. It's always the timing. If he had to turn around there half a second earlier, he might have been able to pick up a kill there, but regardless, it is PZ Kid to close it out. And now Alpha Sydney get one on the board. Legacy won't be too disappointed at the moment, though. 6-1 up.
Yeah, well, it gets them the opportunity to reset their economy. And Alpha Sydney, really, they weren't doing anything brilliant in that round. They were just sort of getting a little lucky with their timings and stepping out and hitting their shots at the very least. So I wouldn't call that any sort of tactical genius. And the low percentage buy actually paid off for them for once. That's probably because I said it wouldn't. That's how it usually works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, moving into this 8th round, and Top Gun's just going to step out, and Wizard, despite missing about 10 bullets before, finishes it off with 2 lovely ones at the end to take the first kill of this round. And they're working their way up mid and trying to get into connector towards the A-bomb side at this stage, the Legacy that is.
Yeah, they've got that mid control, which we always speak about being so crucial on Mirage here, but
actually have an opportunity here to work their way into window and around through to the back of B-bomb side. And if they decide that that's the option they're going to take, then that could be pretty dangerous for Alpha Sydney. But instead, Sicko picks Lightstep, who just didn't wait for his smoke to bloom before he tried to move across on that short box, short area, rather. And 1 by 1, Legacy go in, and 1 by 1, Legacy die.
Yeah, well, another 2v4 situation here for Legacy. Last time it was Offnu and Top Gun, this time it's Offnu and Havoc. So we'll see if they can salvage another round here, perhaps. But should be pretty difficult. They have been spotted out, so a little bit of intel there for Alpha Sydney. And Sicko just playing very safely in towards CT, just watching the window connector there as well. And now Legacy making their way on towards that B-bomb site. It is going to be Herbs playing from Van, does go down. And another kill going over to Legacy. So are we going to see another repeat of that 2 versus 4 coming out here? A little bit of deja vu, perhaps, Mike.
Wizard is in a pretty critical position here coming from Apps, but Offnu is watching it. But enough of a distraction has to come in from Echo as they move into this retake here. It's all for Alpha City. They're going to get economy reset if they don't win this one.
Spotted. Offnu's got an easy kill there onto Wizard and has spotted out the other player as well. This is going all the wrong way for Alpha Sydney. Now 1 versus 2 here for Echo to deal with. See if he can grab anything. He's got a grenade to work with, but that's about it. He's going to push Havoc, but Havoc responding well and picks up the kill. 7 on the board now for Legacy. And once again, the second 2v4 in their favour. Not looking good for Alpha Sydney.
Nope, it is not. Especially as it's CC side for them as well.
The economy reset coming out as well here, so really just
the numbers,
everything pear-shaped.
If you're an accountant, you'd be worried.
Alright, well, I mean, they tried the double AWP setup and it sort of worked, and then they kind of threw away the round. So I guess that's something they could try again. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
Well, so far, all that's worked has been a series of random pushes and catching Legacy a bit unaware as they move, trying to get into position and gain territory. That's all that's sort of worked at the moment. So you can't rely on that to continuously or regularly win your rounds. You're going to get lucky sometimes. Other times, your opposition is going to be sitting there and waiting for you. So I think that they haven't really tried to push up into Palace at all today. They haven't tried pushing through a ramp. So perhaps they need to put a little bit more focused and try and get the people who are lurking around in those sort of areas, potentially catch them unaware perhaps. Alternatively, is they need to double down on their mid presence and perhaps counter what Legacy are doing, because they are taking that mid control pretty easily. It's going pretty aggressive on the CT side and getting right up into their faces at the top of team mid with a couple of nades, just to try and put them off what Legacy are doing to set themselves up.
Well, we'll see what they opt to do here. Obviously, they'll have to deal with another eco round here coming out. Legacy, of course, well aware of this. 2 UMPs on their side, so you're going to try and get a bit of extra cash in the bank. And again, it's looking like a pretty default setup here from Alpha Sydney. 3 on the A side, though.
Not unheard of.
Yeah, not unheard of course.
And they've left B Palace alone entirely, which is a good move because Legacy haven't really pushed through there at all. And now, like we saw on Cache at one point, it's pretty much a game of chicken, except Legacy have decided that they are cocks and not hens.
Very nice kill through the smoke there, and actually transfers over onto Echo as well. So easy couple of kills there for for Legacy rather, onto Alpha Sydney, as APOC finding one for himself as well. Legacy really not having too many troubles in this round. I guess this is not the round that we really need to look at. It's basically the next round where Alpha Sydney is going to be able to buy that. Or are they even going to be able to buy? No, they're probably not.
No,
they could, of course, but really. No,
they shouldn't in this scenario, but this is whenever I say they shouldn't, they probably will, and the end result is bye.
Yeah.
Look at the AWP, but I guess Peter Kid's got the FAMAS. He's the only one that's weak, but the utility is the issue.
Siko's glass cannon as well.
Glass cannon, yeah, and he should have bought a decoy. He had 100 left. It's the only time the decoy is kind of really sort of useful is with the AWP. It can be useful at least, not always.
Yeah.
So Legacy sitting well and truly in control of this second map. Of course, they went down fairly close. It was at 16-12. Was that the first?
16-13.
16-13, apologies, on Cache, which was their pick. So a little bit of an upset per se coming out for Alpha Sydney, able to get themselves on the board. And the first map loss for Legacy entirely. So Havoc is trying to pick B. We're just waiting for him. He gets spotted, or rather peeks at the wrong time and gets punished appropriately.
Busy Kid with a nice push though out of the ramp. He's going to get a lot of damage across to Ofnu, but actually takes even more in response. Has the backup of Echo there, but you really feel he should have been able to pick up at least 1 kill there, if not 2. Now Wizard should get APOC here, and he does. So brings it back to a 4 versus 4. Legacy just hurting a little bit more on the HP department. But still, plenty of time left in the round to work with.
Plenty of time, and all the action is heading towards B, which means Siko. He does have the AWP. He is glass cannon. And he's going to get pushed on here from 2 angles, although very late from mid, so he should really just be watching the palace.
Having a nice kill there onto Siko. Actually misses the shot there onto Wizard as well. So that's a little disappointing for him, but Ofnu goes down as a result. Top Gun there to find Echo. Havoc in the end does finally take down Wizard. And now it's all up to PZ Kid in a 1 versus 3. He does get 1, but not enough. And Alpha Sydney still sitting on that number 1.
Lots of little peaks there back into lines that potentially AWPs are holding and things like that. And they're stepping out where they don't necessarily need to, Alpha Sydney. And send that eco, or rather that buy has put them back onto the eco with a loss. And so it's going to be a 10th round, you would think, towards Legacy.
Aggressive push coming out from Wizard. Might be able to catch APOC off guard here. Let's see. What's he looking at?
Nope.
Just playing safely here for the moment, and actually it's going to be a push from Herbs, who actually does get taken down there. APOC perhaps heard the flashbang from Wizard, was aware that he was there, so navigates that one quite safely, and now it's Top Gun just to close out the final kill. 10 here for Legacy on their T side on Mirage. This is almost looking like they're putting on that sort of that stomp that we're used to seeing coming out from them. They kind of remind me a little bit here of Virtus Pro, where one map they can just be like really bad. No, not really bad. They weren't really bad last map, but yeah, perhaps not up to their level. And then the next map, it just kind of, they just turn it on, and it's just like, see you later, guys. We're winning this map 16-2.
Yep, and it's rapidly approaching that point. You can see a fairly similar hold for Alpha Sydney again. Very defensive in A-bomb side. A little bit of presence towards mid, but not actually. Actually, they have managed to hold whoever it is at the top of mid out. somewhat here, and that is a lovely smoke by APOC. Sorry, by Sicko rather, not APOC. And look at the wrong part of my screen there, and you can now hide on that table safely. But it's all A. And PZ Kid with a huge push.
PZ Kid has an aggressive push, yeah.
Yeah, but
I think I just
Execute
lagged
coming
out
in
for a little bit there.
Yeah.
But anyway, PZ Kid did pick that one up. APOC goes down, and the Execute coming on that A-bomb site. As you mentioned, Sicko getting boosted up here in CT spawn. Has to get some work done. Does get a little bit of damage across, but really it's Echo with a 3-man spray down there onto Offnu, Lightstep, and Top Gun. Now Havoc in a 1 versus 5 situation. Finds the first 2 with that orb. See if he can pick anything else up. Gets the 3rd, and here we go. This is going to be the moment here. Havoc, oh, not quite. PZ Kid comes from behind. Oh, I was so hoping for a 5v1 there. That would have been so sick.
Yeah.
I was really getting into that. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, I could tell. But at the very least, the silver lining for Legacy there, even though obviously their economy is pretty awesome, well, at least on Top Gun it is, they did quite a bit of damage, and which means the buy is a little bit weak here from Alpha Sydney, despite recovering 2 orbs. So if they can wrest those AWPs out of their control, and Havoc is doing a good job here.
He suspects that there's another there, and he suspects correctly as Wizard goes down. Havoc just looking in fine form, at least in the last couple of rounds. As I say that, though, he peeks straight into the sides of Sicko and goes down as a result. APOC pushing up the connector. Could find a double spray down there, but not quite. Doesn't spot the player in the jungle there. Sicko is that one. He's getting grenaded out there and takes a bit of damage for his trouble, down to 71. But he's still alive.
He picks up his 2nd for the round, but you feel that this is going to go the way of Legacy fairly easily, which is going to reset the economy for Alpha Sydney again. And they're not going to be able to buy in the 14th. Although they did have a little bit. No. It's eco time. It's eco time. Nope. It's Force Buy time. Woo.
I know how much you love Force Buys.
There is always appropriate time to do a Force Buy. And I guess they're just feeling the pressure of being 11-2 down. But I mean,
yeah. I don't mind the Force Buy on Mirage with the Scout pistol. Like, I feel like it can work.
Yeah.
At times.
But
it's kind of one of the maps where you can abuse the jump scout a little bit more, but...
I just think when Legacy have just been really stepping up in terms of just their straight fragging with some Havoc going ham a couple of rounds in a row, that's probably not the best occasion to try and take on.
Oh, what happened there? Team kill. PZ Kid goes down to Echo.
Yeah, I don't really feel like it's the appropriate time to do a Force Buy and try and take on aim style on a team like Legacy when they're starting to wake up and get into that slaw mode like you were talking about. So, but it has worked out reasonably well for them. They have picked up 2 kills, but they have lost 3 in their efforts. And now, actually, double kill from Wizard. He has been quiet, but bringing back his case form at least, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every time we say something, someone decides to prove us wrong. So Alpha Sydney with a great opportunity to pick this one up, but Lightstep will see what he can do in the 1 versus 2. He does have the superior weaponry. Only 1 flashbang to work with. He needs to find a 1 versus 1 here, and looks like he might, but Wizard spots him out. And it's the 3K, so there you go. Works out.
There I go, indeed. Works out. It's like I'm somehow validating
I feel like,
the strategies.
if like, say for example, Renegades is trying to get into a major, you should just be like, oh, Renegades is going to get O2'd here. And then they'll just like go out and stomp.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunately it only works if I'm casting. So if anyone wants me to cast the next major quals or something like that, just hit me up. I'm happy to oblige.
Yeah. Only if you want Renegades and Immunity and Legacy and whoever else goes to win.
We'll get 6 Oceanic teams into the major and to watch them get stomped. But PZ Kid is going on a massive push here, and he picks up 1, but gets a lot of information as well. And this is a really good bait play from Herbs. He's stuck up there, and he holds off this rush entirely. So that's really good play there by him. Wizard picking up a kill in mid. So this is halted all progress for Legacy. Despite being 11-3 up and having a lot of momentum. Oh, Top Gun gets Wizard at the last possible second as he was jumping away to get to the top of mid, and I suspect we might see another scenario where Legacy are in numbers down but actually go on to take off the round, or take out the round rather, in the end. But the bomb going down now on the A-bomb side.
Well, I mean, regardless of the outcome of this round, it's still going to be a fantastic first half for Legacy. Obviously, they would want to pick up this one here, and Echo in a bit of trouble. He's going to get out okay there, but Top Gun has spotted out those two players in CT. And again, yeah, Legacy really just sitting pretty happy after this first half, regardless of how this one goes. And at the moment, looks like it's going the way of Alpha Sydney. Sicko is going to spot out that player. Does miss this shot with the AWP there, but now they have the intel to where he is. It's Havoc, though, with the AWP been looking strong. Sicko with the CZ, though, will be able to spray him down. So 4 on the board for Alpha Sydney. Definitely not where they'd want to be sitting, but certainly a lot better than perhaps where it could have been.
Yeah, that really threw that one around, I feel. Threw that round away, I feel, Legacy there. They could have had that one a little bit easier because they didn't really need to move out where they did. And they sort of 2 players stepped out into the line of 2 players on Alpha Sydney side, so... Top fragging for Legacy was Offnu, in fact, and Havoc, of course, we saw him go pretty huge at various points. And moving into the second half, the all-important pistol round. It looks like a straight A execute. 5 players from Alpha Sydney towards the A-bomb site, and pretty standard hold as well from Legacy, I feel. 1 on the balcony, 1 at the stairs, 1 in CT, and they rush on out.
Alrighty, let's see. Echo picks up 1. Herbs picks up APOC as well. And Legacy really in a bit of trouble here, as we can see. Echo finding his second kill for the round. Alpha Sydney, really an important pistol round for them to win this one. And seems like Legacy is certainly obliging, as they really just let these kills go in the favour of Alpha Sydney. The final one goes to Wizard. And the pistol in the favour of Alpha Sydney.
Now, Jordan, cast your mind back 1 map to this exact point. Does the force buy come out, the pistol armor buy come out from Legacy? Will they go on to win the second round and hold Alphas? No, they're going to go with just pistols in this instance. Will they make it work anyway? Alpha Sydney hopefully won't get caught napping like they did in the first map.
Legacy have got their upgraded pistols, though, so, I mean, if they hit their headshots, which is kind of what you need to do even if you buy the armor, you know, you still have the opportunity in this round. I don't mind this from Legacy. We've got the 4-stack on the A-bomb side as well, so obviously if Alpha decide to go towards B, they can save those pistols, take them into the next round, maybe make something out of it. So we'll see how this turns out. Mindstep has spotted out a couple of those players, or at least 1 of those players from Alpha Sydney, but really the mid-control seems to be the play of the day here for Alpha Sydney, at least in this round.
Will they choose to move up towards the stacked site, or will they move up short? It looks like the decision has been made to go towards the B-bomb site, having just spotted the solo player, perhaps now getting tagged a little bit up on the short platform. Everyone knows what's going on now, and it's a matter of who can shoot who quicker. And I suspect it's going to be Alpha Sydney as they put the bomb down in the B-bomb site and take up some varied post-plant positions, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I don't even think Legacy necessarily should try for this retake. I think they just should be opting to go for some exit frags. They haven't got the apartments covered up, though, and Alpha Sydney really keen for a bit of a eco-slaw. Wizard will find that one onto Havoc. Sicko picks up Top Gun, and we go with that whole sort of list thing again, where one team gets basically turned into a list. But having said that, Offner will be able to pick up 1 onto Echo. PZ Kid does take out APOC there, though, from the window room. They've spotted out Offnu now as well. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Herbs just gunning it straight down mid, and he will be able to pick it up as well.
11-6 now the scoreline. This is the second map, if you're just joining us for Solving Gamer TV's coverage of the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 season. And again, Eco, of course, for Legacy. Just a small investment, some flashes, and some P250s. Sicko's having none of it. He's going straight out.
Does not care.
No.
And it doesn't really matter in the end because there was no one on that A-bomb site, but he's going to be able to wrap around straight through the connector. Pick up well, I was going to say a nice double kill, but wasn't able to get that second damage across. Herbs to close it out there with the 3k.
5 alive.
And Alpha Sydney. Yeah, as you mentioned, 5 alive. Another one on the board. Starting to close that gap a little bit.
It's down to 4 rounds, but this is the first gun round of the second half. We see Havoc, who was pretty good in the first half of the AWP, picking it up, and Sicko as well is going to go. And we didn't really see him do a lot with the AWP on the T side on Cache, but hopefully he's for his personal benefit, that the circumstances can change and he can get the pick or two and help bring Alpha Sydney potentially towards a 2-zip if they're so lucky. And they've decided to go for a straight A execute by the looks of things with no information.
Yeah, and there's a full stack on this site here from Legacy. You'll see how strong those smokes are, though. Obviously, that's going to be, I guess, the pivotal part here. The double Molotov in towards Ramp did slow things down quite a lot there for Alpha Sydney, but finally they're out. PZ Kid is going to be taken down by Lightstep with the spray through the smoke there. Top Gun, how did he get in here? He's going to get a double man spray down, and also looking for the third here. Doesn't manage to take that player on the Tetris, but really he got the job done. APOC there for the trade. Now it's Sicko in a 1 versus 3, and no matter how good his AWPing is going to be, he shouldn't be able to get anything more out of this round.
He does not. He picks up nothing. Well, he doesn't lose anything either. He keeps his AWP, so that's the 12th round on the board for Legacy. And that is the problem with going into a straight A execute, is that if you're coming up against a team who have Molotovs, and you could reasonably assume that Legacy were going to have Molotovs based on the fact that they didn't do a pistol armor buy, you're going to get slowed down. And in the end, it did not work as well. Top Gun coming with a nice little lurk in the site there, sitting on the other side of the smokes. So this time, Alpha Sydney deciding instead to work their way into mid, and they have gotten control of top of mid, but not much further at this stage. And 3 other members, including Sicko, who's going to try and pick from A ramp.
Once again, you can see Legacy have got this really predominantly A-sided stack. Obviously, you can see there's a player in mid actually rotating off here. So now 3 over towards the A side, 2 towards B. Alpha Sydney have perhaps a better opportunity in this round, but are they going for that execute, or are they just going to try and run out here? Looks like Sicko has the duty of entry fragging with that AWP. Offnu in the ninja spot is going to take down Echo as he pops out of connector, and now it's all down to Sicko to get the refrag, which he doesn't manage to do just yet. You can see the smokes coming across for Alpha Sydney, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. This is plenty of time here for Legacy to rotate across, and they've got 4 on the site.
Watch PZ coming from behind from window. He could pick up a double kill if he's pretty handy here. He just gets the 1, in fact, and Herbs is left last alive here. He picks up 1. He's still got 3 to get, and a whole bunch of spam coming his way. So PZ Kid managed to work his way up through the ladder room and then back behind through the window area into jungle, and came up right behind 2 players, but only able to pick up the 1 kill there off screen. So he was the key for Alpha Sydney in that instance, and he did not get the kills he needed to. So looks like Legacy will probably end up closing this one off at this stage. They've yet to get to a map win in this matchup, but looking pretty nice here on Mirage.
Certainly is. I think something in Alpha Sydney is going to have to wake up, be it Sicko or someone else. And at the moment, it is Echo to find the first frag in towards connector, and Sicko does manage to take down Havoc as well. So this round looking pretty good here for Alpha Sydney, but we know how good Legacy are in those disadvantaged positions. And now you can see Offnu bringing 1 back. He's down to 23 HP, but this grenade is going to do a lot of damage. Actually will take him down as well. And Alpha Sydney really should be able to pick this one up. So securing another one. Sort of resetting the economy a little bit for Legacy there. I mean, not too big of a deal, but
no, it's done enough, I would say.
It's done enough to force an eco here, you should expect.
I would expect Offnu to drop a couple of pistols. That's what I would expect.
Yeah.
You're dropping some P250s or some 5.7s. I mean, 4 5.7s is 2,500. Sorry, 2,000. That'll take you back to 4.3. Plenty to buy next round, but not to be the case. And Alpha Sydney choose to sit back and relax, like Frankie. Did you get that reference, Jordan?
I did not.
Okay. Never mind, but they're going to move to the top of mid now, so...
I'm not good with references most of the time.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about Star Wars, or what about if I made some sort of Potter joke reference?
Yeah, no, I'm good at Harry Potter. That's about it. Harry Potter and Star Wars.
I haven't watched a single second of Harry Potter, so...
Have you read the books at least?
No.
Oh, come on.
Not much of a bookworm. We're probably getting a little bit sidetracked here. Alpha Sydney choosing to rotate. Yeah, that's why we were getting a little bit sidetracked. But they've decided to rotate back towards A, and in fact, that's been picked up from the top of mid by a sound cue from Havoc. So they're going to move back towards the A bomb site, and it's going to be a meeting of 2 Titans, but one Titan is only wielding merely USPs, and The other has AKs, M4s, and AWPs, and bullets through smoke.
I mean, if you wanted a Harry Potter reference, one of those Titans was wielding an Elder Wand and the other wasn't, so... Did you get that one, Mike?
No, I didn't, because like I mentioned just recently...
it's getting to that time of night where things will just go bleh.
That's alright. Lightstep's going to try and ninja out here. He's not going to do... What was it? Was it G2? Was it FaZe that fell to a ninja?
It was FaZe against VP, I think.
Yeah,
yeah. It was Snacks. He came in and there was 5 people. I remember watching this round.
Yeah,
and
5 people at B-bomb
all
site.
of Virtus Pro was on the B-bomb site. All of FaZe was on the B-bomb site, and Snacks just like walked up connector and got the defuse. It was fantastic.
It was like, okay, I'll take this. Anyway, 13-9 is the scoreline. Legacy up by 4 rounds. And we're going into another gun round here, and a fast mid take here from Alpha Sydney is going to lurk onto the B-bomb site, and Havoc gets taken down by Herbs. So just Lightstep left alive from Legacy to defend here. He picks up 1, but he's got a lot coming in his action, and he doesn't get any more. So the bomb will go down at B-bomb site. It's a 3 versus 4 retake for Team Legacy if they choose to go for it.
Alrighty, let's see what happens here. Ooh, Top Gun gets one through the smoke. It's back to a 3 versus 3. Alpha Sydney, though, have some very nice post-night positions. You can see that one player down in short, one at the bench, and obviously one just hanging around on the side. Wizard is going to find a double kill as well. That'll work out very nicely for Alpha Sydney. It's down to Offno. He's a very good player in these clutch situations, but it's not going to be enough there. Sicko takes him out, brings it back to 10 and 13. And Alpha Sydney, maybe a second wind in their sails in this second half.
Yep, the sea change has come in. Breeze is now, instead of in their faces, pushing them along from behind. So again, the CT economy, when it's good, it's great, but losing the last 3 in a row has put them back onto an eco after putting into considerable investment into that one. So a pretty even performance on the scoreboard from both teams, which is not unusual given the scoreline. And Alpha Sydney, very, very cautious here. They want to fall to any sort of magic from Legacy.
No, certainly wouldn't. Legacy have been pretty reasonable on these eco rounds, but this one probably leaving a little bit to be desired. Obviously, no real investment apart from those pistols, and as I say that, Lightstep is going to find the double kill. Actually, it's often to find one Lightstep, finding one for himself as well. So a good start in this one for Legacy. Herbs, though, is trading back. Sicko as well, but Legacy really getting some kills on the board here, the ones that they need. Top Gun finding himself in a 2 versus 1. If he closes this one out as an entirely doable situation, he's going to go with the AWP. Herbs not quite getting the timing there, and now Top Gun. Very, very good opportunity to pick this one up. Let's see what he can do. The smoke's coming down here from Herbs. He's going to get the utilities going out as well, and he'll be able to sneak down into the underpass. Top Gun reading this one pretty well. Looks like he's heading towards the B-bomb site, so the game is still alive. He's certainly going to be able to hear Herbs here, and I don't like the chances here for Herbs.
Nope, Top Gun has the drop. He has all the information, and he should get this done. Herbs will get the bomb down, so that is not... I mean, it's nice, but it's not what you want. It's going to set them back a little bit, but they'll be able to buy easily, and perhaps they can again put Legacy onto some sort of economic reset, although with the win round there and the cash is looking very good. So 14-10 Alpha Sydney. Just
I mean,
struggling a little. I mean, they find their way in, but they're unable to hold that momentum on Mirage. That's the problem here.
I don't know. I feel like that's sort of the nail in the coffin for this map here for Alpha Sydney, but we'll see if I'm proven wrong yet again. Does appear like Alpha Sydney keen to get that mid control out, and getting binked through the smoke is not going to help.
Sicko getting a boost on top of somebody's head there. It's Peter Kid perhaps at the top of mid to look over the smoke that goes into at the top of mid and pick off window there. So that's a nice little play from Alpha Sydney. Lock that way into your strat books if you're sitting at home. And this puts him into a 4 versus 3. And in this scenario, you've got to try and use your numbers to advantage, which is what they're looking like they want to do at this stage, and put at least 3 towards, if not all 4 towards A. But at the same time, whilst they're taking their time to move up, you can see one of the players, it's Top Gun, who has pushed all the way through B halls. So they know it's definitely going to be an A at this point in time as Alpha Sydney work their way into the bomb side.
Yeah, it's really going to be down to Havoc and Offnu here. Havoc will find one there onto Herbs, and Offnu in a great spot to drop that bomb planter as well. So again, Alpha Sydney really just losing their way a little bit in these mid-round situations where they have the advantage, and PZ Kid is going to be able to trade back onto Havoc, but it's a 2 versus 2, and Top Gun coming from behind surely should be able to pick up at least Sicko here, if not also PZ Kid. Offnu from CT Spawn is actually going to be able to pick up the PZ Kid kill there, and actually Sicko finds Top Gun as well, so a little interesting there, and now down to a 1 versus 1. Sicko with the AWP needs to hit that one crucial shot. He's only got 5 or 6 HP actually to work with as well, so really not a very good situation at all for him. 13 seconds left on the board, but if he can hit that one shot, oh, he hits it, but it's through the box. And around on the board there for Legacy, 15 now, up against 10. They have 5 match points to work with.
And the economy's okay. From Alpha Sydney, they'll be able to scrap together a pretty reasonable buy at the very least. Sicko's got the Zeus, so you never know when that comes in handy. And good utilities generally across the board. And don't rule out Herbs with that P90. He's pretty good. Legacy's Lightstep, their leader, has picked their Mag 7, but a pretty good buy on their behalf. And Alpha Sydney defaulting back to this A execute, which it's questionable because it hasn't really worked out that well for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know really what else they can do with this buy. There's not a whole lot that they can work the map with. They don't have an AWP. They can't really contest that sort of thing. But regardless, we'll see what they can do on this A-bomb site here. The smoke goes down. Offnu doesn't quite land all the bullets he needs. Wizard gets the bomb down. Felt for sure he was going to go down there, but in the end, a good result at least for Alpha Sydney. Offnu, though, will be able to take down Wizard eventually. And now a 4 versus 5 retake here. Nice shot from Sicko. Sicko right through the box there onto Offnu. The PZ Kid does manage to take down Lightstep in mid there. Havoc does trade him out, though. And a couple of quick kills come across here for Alpha Sydney. Echo and Herbs chiming in. Havoc, though, with the AWP so deadly in this matchup. Certainly going to go for this retake and see what he can get done. But doesn't look like he's going to get a lot done as Herbs peeks around from the site, picks him up. Alpha Sydney still hanging on in this matchup.
The reset has occurred. The economy has been shattered on Team Legacy, so whilst they are in certainly a commanding position, they will have to, and they force 4 rounds to close it out, and they force. I suppose they will certainly be able to buy effectively. Probably the round after next, unless they win this. So.
Well, I mean, Legacy, they won their last pistol round, and it wasn't even a force buy, so we'll see how they are able to negotiate this one. Not going too well for them as they lose the first kill. In the previous one, they picked up the first 2 kills in their favor, so certainly not going the way they would want to. But obviously, as you mentioned, they've got a few rounds to play with here, so not necessarily the worst decision in the world.
No, and now Alpha Sydney working their way through mid. Trying to find it, and Top Gun actually pushes through the underpass and picks up one, and he's got someone coming for him. He's going to retrieve that weapon first. So PZ Kid has worked his way through B short, and that is where the majority of the team is going to go. Herbs picks up Top Gun, so recovers that weapon, which is good news. PZ Kid using that position that they didn't realise he had pushed all the way through, and using it very well. Sicko gets some sort of leg slash box shot on Havoc there, through a box that is, and bomb down, 2 left. Should probably try and save their armor, and this AK if Havoc can keep onto it as well.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the option of choice here. I don't believe Alpha Sydney are going to be super keen to try and hunt this one. Yeah,
Sicko's just going to hold a line. I thought he was kept pushing. That's right, but he is
pushing.
He is pushing. Right, he's keen. He's hungry.
Oh, I don't know about this. They don't have a huge amount of economy. I think he's just going to hold the line now.
Yeah, well, you'd hope so.
He's got the backup now of a couple of players, but the Molotov is going to come down there and slow things down. So that's okay for Legacy. They keep a couple of those players alive. They get an AK out of it as well. Alpha Sydney, though, 3 rounds to get them to overtime, and then they're going to have to try and pull something out of that one as well. Still a long way to go.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. That's a long way for Alpha Sydney, still with those 3 rounds to get in a row consecutively. Of course, in a row and consecutively meaning the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like, again, it's this B short area that they want to abuse here, and this time it doesn't quite work out for them initially.
Yeah, Top Gun at the van might have a reasonable go at this one. He's only on 30% HP though. If they don't need him out, he might be able to get something. Oh no, Offnu coming from behind. I completely missed that, and so did Alpha Sydney. Wizard and Sicko going down. PC Git is going to have to come up with something massive here, as well as Herbs. It's a 4 versus 2, and I don't know. Something just not working out too well at all for Alpha Sydney in these eco rounds.
No.
Or the anti-eco rounds, I guess, from their perspective.
Yep.
It's just all going wrong at the moment.
It's all gone Pete Tong. But they're not out of it yet. It is a 2 versus 4. They don't have the bomb. And I think they've even Molotov themselves a little bit there, or are they just trying to hold off an angle? I think it's the angle they were trying to clear there. So
Offnu with the AWP here as well. He's going to pick up PZ Kid. And now Herbs. He's going to smoke things off, but I just don't feel it happening in a 4 versus 1. He's going to have to come up huge in the next 20 seconds. He's been spotted out as well by Offnu. Offnu, come on, hit the shot. There you go with the pistol. And Legacy close out the second map, 16-12. Alpha Sydney so close to being able to pull that one back. But I mean, they lost 2 eco rounds, or lost two, you know what I'm trying to say, to 2 eco rounds.
yes.
Trying to get the words out there, and I mean, when you lose 2 eco rounds, when you're trying to come back, it's just really not going to work out for you at all.
Yeah.
So heading on to the 3rd map.
Another 30 in that map as well. Often picking that one up. So yeah, very interesting. I feel like we should recharge a little, Jordan.
I agree.
All right, we'll head to a quick break. But of course, this whole thing isn't really possible without our fantastic sponsors. It is the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016. They are our lead sponsor, however you want to call it. Joining Mwave are Turtle Beach, Netgear, Plantronics, Logitech, and AK Racing. So we'll be right back after this quick message. Stay with us for the exciting 3rd map between Legacy and Alpha Sydney.
Let me make you feel fine. 'Cause loving you just know.
G'day guys, welcome back. Third map coming up here, Alpha Sydney and Legacy Esports. My name is Elfish Guy, joined by Mike Star, and we are
Quiet Star, actually.
Quiet Star?
Quiet Star, yeah.
Quiet?
No, I have no hype, so.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, that's right.
That's my job.
Yeah, no, it is.
So,
no, that's right.
I think we can give you a pass on that one. Anyway, Alpha Sydney, Legacy Esports, you're the analysis boy.
Yeah.
How do we feel the third match is going here?
Big time Legacy.
Big time Legacy. I feel the same.
Well, I guess big time Legacy. I mean, if they win the knife round, we're going big time Legacy. If they start on T side, probably not as big time, but I'm predicting single digits for Alpha Sydney on this third map, and Legacy will continue their undefeated match streak. Although having dropped the first map to Alpha means their first map in CGPL this time.
Still, they have the best, I guess, map win-loss overall, even despite dropping that map. So I guess that's something to be proud about for Legacy here. But certainly, they're going to need to be able to close this one out because it's obviously going to keep them sitting on the top of the table. If they drop a map to Alpha Sydney, there's some sort of opportunity for someone to pip them to the post. I mean, the top 4 from each group go through to the LAN, so it's not a huge deal, but it is seeding, so I guess, they can avoid some of those more difficult matchups, perhaps. Who knows? Yes. Anyway, into the knife round, so we'll see what happens.
Pretty critical on Inferno, so then when you're going to want to win. We'll see how it goes. Go on, Jordan, give us your best hype knife.
I don't really want a hype knife. It's so hard because people just run around and do random stuff. Anyway, let's try it. Let's see what happens here. Sicko is going to be trying to peek backwards and forwards in this knife round, and this is looking like a crazy knife round fight. Lots of trades coming out across here, and Legacy picking up the 5k, the ace, the team ace. I don't know how you want to do it. See, knife rounds are 2 heads.
Team ace is 1 each.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Top Gun carry that one. The triple kill.
Good job, Top Gun. Triple kill in the knife round. That's lots of cash in the bank. Knife kills give you lots of money. Sitting on 7,700. Unfortunately, not going to be able to take that into the pistol round.
No. And
never make me cast the knife round again, Mike.
I will do exactly that every single time I can get away with it. So Legacy, starting on the CT side, obviously, I'm going to predict a 16-8. I feel is going to be the scoreline here. That's my prediction. What about yours, Jordan?
16-8 was yours, was it?
Yes, that's right. 16-8.
Legacy starting on CT side. I don't even know if they're going to get 16-8. I reckon it's going to be 16-5 in the favour of Legacy. I think it's going to be complete shutout on the CT side.
Okay, Havoc doing his best to get himself out in the open there, pushing very aggressively down Banana, and Legacy's now just sort of sitting back after picking up the first. It was APOC who picked up one towards the A bomb side at least. So Alpha Sydney now looking a little bit lost at this stage, just trying to find a little bit of information and trade a little bit of damage onto Lightstep. So they're going to have to make a decision here. 2 of them are tagged, mind you. 12 hit points between Offnu and Lightstep. So it looks like it's going to be back towards the B bomb side.
Yeah. I'd like to see Legacy starting to float a player here because they have got the intel that there's a couple of players in that banana area and they haven't spotted anyone out at A or in mid. The smoke's going to come across here and finally we're going to see that player rotating across, but it might be a little bit too late here. Now 2 players on the B-bomb site for Legacy to defend. It is Havoc trying to play here from the back of the side. APOC going to push the smoke here. This could be a very strong move. Wizard might spot him out though, but he is going to be able to win that duel. He's going to get 1, but not enough. Kid takes him down. Herbs is going to be able to pick up a kill there as well, and he's back to a 2 versus 2 retake here. Legacy just hurting a little bit on the HP front. Offnu down to 7 HP, and Top Gun in the banana here. Herbs might be just peeking into his sights, which might be a mistake. We'll see what happens. Top Gun, oh, he does go down there actually. Herbs picks it up, and Sicko does find Offnu in the end. So Alpha Sydney picking up that round, but it could have been a little bit closer.
Could have, yeah. APOC not quite getting the smoke push, so we'll see whether they want to do. I don't mind the pistol armor buy on Inferno in some instances because of the close range. There's so many small and close angles that you can hold, but they've opted to go for the pistol armor buy. All right. I'm on board with this one, Jordan. So inevitably it'll fail miserably.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, every time I kind of question their eco sort of buy their force up, they obviously come out ahead.
So how does it work if one caster is going to curse them onto winning because he predicts the opposite, and the other one, like which caster wins, analysis or play-by-play?
I feel like the play-by-play, because they just say something and they don't actually really think about it, right? So,
so that way, so what you're saying is correct, that Legacy are going to win this, and they are a man up at this stage, so that's pretty important. But Top Gun is down to 22, but he can do plenty of damage when he's feeling 22. Shout out to Sandman for that one.
Thanks, Ben. Anyway, Legacy, they've got a few pop flashes here that they can work with. Or, well, I say pop flashes. They don't necessarily need to be used as pop flashes, but incidentally, that's generally what you see them being used as on a eco round. Try and peek around a corner with a pop flash, but we'll see what happens. There is that A stack. There's 3 players on there from Legacy, but Alpha Sydney just slowly but surely making their way around Archside, around Library. APOC is going to spot out one, does a lot of damage to the second as well, so good work from him. These 2 players in the pit have to get something done. Often gets dropped all the way down to 4 HP. Sicko, the player with that P90, trying to get the job done. Not quite landing the shots there, but Herbs does finally pick it up. Havoc trades him out, and Herbs picks up the double. Now it's the 2 versus 2 retake here. Top Gun has managed to retrieve himself an SMG, so good little weapon for him to try and get use of there. Both teams looking pretty okay on the HP front, at least even at the moment. Top Gun does go down to Herbs there. No trade out there in the favor of Lightstep, but he finally picks up Herbs with a nicely placed headshot. Now he has to deal with Sicko, who is down only on 17 HP, pre-firing all of these corners. You feel like he almost is going to be able to get this one, but Sicko with a nice headshot and the jumping kill onto Lightstep. That was probably a little bit too close for comfort there for Alpha Sydney. And Legacy maybe a little disappointed to lose that one.
Yeah. Very close. I guess that's as close as we can get on cursing both teams without actually going in either direction. But anyway, so that's the second round in favour of Alpha Sydney, and they're on this terribly hard side for the T side, and Legacy are going for their pretty standard when they are on full eco, which is 1 at one side and 4 at the other. The old 1 and 4, you might call it. And Alpha Sydney are working their way back up towards mid, and in fact,
Lightstep's just running around with his knife out.
Yeah, just saying, hey, over here. Come shoot me with your P90, Sicko.
He actually didn't even take any damage there, so
yeah.
Maybe he was like being a Jedi and like the knife was his lightsaber. I don't know. Using it to deflect the bullets.
Right, yep. No, potentially. I
don't
remember that being in the patch note, but you know what that's actually done?
What?
Alpha Sydney have spotted that one player and decided, no, we're going back to B.
It's worked out.
Yeah, it's worked out. So the force is with him, it seems, and they're going to come into a stack in all 4 corners. Not the ABC show, but the bomb site. And Alpha Sydney are going to have to negotiate this tough stack.
Oh, APOC! I felt for sure he was going to get a headshot there. The crosshair was perfectly placed, but didn't manage to land the shots. And anyway, it's going to be Top Gun and Opti picking up 1 apiece. So still not looking too bad here for Legacy. There is a trade out though. Urs picks himself up 1, and Sicko had the other. The bomb still dropped here for Alpha Sydney though, so they have to try and retrieve that one. And Opti was just scaring them up a little bit. Oh, he does go down in the end there. Now Top Gun, the remaining player on that B bomb site in the dark area, is going to be taken down by Sicko there. And well, what could have been for Legacy? What could have been?
I'm not sure why. To be honest, I'm not sure why Lightstep was still flattened back. Surely they knew that the bomb was down there. So he could have come and provided a little bit of pressure from CT spawn there to make it not a one-sided affair as Alpha Sydney were going into that bomb site. Nonetheless, Alpha Sydney pick up their third round in a row, and the result of being on the pistol armor buy in the first, in that first eco round is that, and in fact getting AWP onto Havoc, they're a little bit short on utility, not massive. They got the 5 smokes, but they don't have a lot of utility. So Alpha Sydney should probably try and work the map a little bit and try and extract those grenades off Legacy before heading in. So I guess the Na'Vi type strategy would be an ideal one in this scenario, if they're reading the economy pretty well, which they have on previous ones, but not reading Havoc very well as he takes down PZK at the top of mid. So putting Alpha Sydney back onto the back foot straight away.
I don't know if you remember, Mike, but the Virtus Pro game versus Renegades at Crown, where Havoc went absolutely crazy on Inferno.
I remember it. You and I casted that one. It was good fun, wasn't it?
Let's see if he can do it again here against Alpha Sydney. I'm pretty keen. Yeah. Anyway, Alpha Sydney are going to get that execute coming out on the A-bomb site. APOC just playing here behind the smoke. We'll try and spot out a couple of players or try and get a bit of spam through the smoke, which will do a little bit of damage there, but nothing really to write home about for Legacy just yet. They do need to be aware, though, that the wraparound is coming here from Alpha Sydney. Offnu should spot it out, does get the kill onto Echo, and now he's going to spot out Herbs as well. He's got some good intel here, and there's that player in library as well. Offnu doing a great job from Pit, getting his third. Actually, that's his second. Havoc picked that one up. APOC on the site will be able to pick up Herbs there as well. And the round on the board for Legacy, and they didn't even lose a single gun for their trouble.
Yeah, which is going to be really important if they want to build up the economy. And we'll see what Alpha City want to do here. Sicko's, he didn't buy last round, so he's bought this round an AWP with armor, and they've got two. I don't know, Jordan. I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
I would have. Yeah. AK, I can understand, because then you'd still have quite a bit of cash, but he's not going to be able to buy the AWP next round if they lose this one. So if they are looking to use an AWP, maybe it was just a miscommunication with internally, which is alright. Perhaps they're going to go for a contact play and hope that Sicko gets the pick and then just bust onto the bomb site. And they've got two waiting for them on the arch side. Doing a bait play. Cubby.
Oh, that's the shot you had to hit. Sicko didn't manage to land it there. Down to 33 HP already. He's going to keep the AWP in his hands for the moment, opting not to swap it over to someone who's got a little more HP to work with. But
I think that was that a through the APOC comes up with a 1 and Offnu picks in as well. So and the utilities are coming in there. So this is going to be all over as the AWP has gone down for Alpha Sydney. So they're trying to move their way up onto A side at this stage, but instead they're going to be like, well, I'm not really feeling it. They recover the AWP at least. But I think APOC actually like dinked Sicko through the wall, and he had no armor, which is why the shot went flying on the aim punch. I think it was like a headshot, but with no armor. Yeah. So anyway, but Echo's trying to provide the distraction at the A bomb site, but it is not going to do enough. So moving on to B bomb site and having 3 players towards that, except for Herbs has now saved that.
Well, has saved.
Will save.
Is trying to.
No, they can't get to him in time.
Yeah, APOC's doing his best, but as you mentioned, it's going to be too little too late for the moment. So, I mean, I guess the AWP buy was okay, because they save it into the next round.
Yeah, but you don't really want to go into the... Because, I mean, they're not buying this round either, so... I mean, Sicko can buy armor here. Again, you have 2,600, and then what would be the third round loss, third in a row. So if they lose this one, they're going to pick up another 2,400 from there. So he'd have enough to buy again, but it wouldn't be an AWP.
Oh well, we'll see how this one turns out for them. Maybe Sicko can hit a nice little entry frag. Watching down mid, but isn't going to spot anyone out. And interesting positions coming out here from Legacy. They've got one boosted up on the roof there. APOC should be getting a bit of work done. They do know that the AWP is going to be in mid there. A good grenade comes out onto PZ Kid. He's dropped down to 20 HP. Sicko gets taken out by Havoc there. They're going to be able to retrieve that AWP. It's PZ Kid taking it out. Wow, nice shot onto APOC there. Going to get the entry for his team, but really, at the end of the day, it was just a trade backs. Not really the position that Alpha Sydney would want to find themselves in on this eco. And look at this, the waterfall strategy coming out on the balcony is going to not really work out too well as they get traded 2 for 1. They do take out the AWP from Havoc, but the rest of the Legacy players here coming across towards that A-bomb site, really closing things out quite well. And Lightstep should pick up Echo here. The Molotov going to come around to draw him out of his position. Actually, Echo manages to get a shot off, but doesn't land it. And there you go, Lightstep picks it up. 3 back on the board here for Legacy. They could pick up that other AWP if they wanted to go for a double AWP, but opt not to.
AWP not to? No? Okay. Anyway. Let's see. Full AKs this time, so not going with the AWP for Sicko. we'll see how it comes through for them and where they decide to go in this time. And in fact, Legacy are changing things up. They're putting down 3 at the top of Banana, and it's a clash, an almighty clash in Banana, and it goes all the way of Legacy picking up 2 kills to just the 1 of Echo and APOC. Trigger discipline right here.
Havoc knows this player's here, and that was a nice shot. I mean, it wasn't the most difficult shot to hit, but certainly looked nice. Anyway, Sicko is going to be able to take down Havoc as he pushes through the smoke, but yeah.
Don't know why he pushed through the smoke there, to be honest.
No, neither do I, but regardless, still a reasonable round coming out for Legacy here, unless Sicko does something crazy.
I'll leave you to it, Jordan. Just in case he does do something crazy. I feel like he's the man with the most potential.
I mean, well, let's have a look and see. He's going to just try and make his way down mid. Is he going to opt for the AWP here? No, he's not. Going to keep sitting on that rifle. Knows exactly where APOC is. And APOC's going to be rotating all the way over to that B-bomb site to just cover that bomb. So Sicko, 45 seconds left to work with, or thereabouts, as he makes his way slowly but surely through CT. And there's the stack here from Legacy as well in the Banana area. I really don't see a way for Sicko to be able to pick this one up, but
Molotov into the tree area after taking down.
He has the Molotov, yeah.
Yeah, that could do a lot of damage, potentially turn the tide. But he's actually playing himself out of this round in terms of time, at least. So I feel like APOC's probably...
There's the go signal. 17 seconds left. He has to push and pick up this kill. And he doesn't do it. APOC will take it out. Well, certainly took his time going down there, but Legacy do pick up the round, and Alpha Sydney going to be forced onto a eco / force / I don't even know what they're going to do these days, you know?
Yeah, so it's a Tech 9 no armor buy, which is strange considering this will be the 5th round they lose, so they'll get 3,400 at the end of it, so they would have been able to buy had they bought armor, but not the case, and they're looking like they want to change up the pace here, get the Tech 9 train going, but will it stop at Legacy Station?
We shall see. APOC is looking like he's going to get a frag here, and he does manage to grab 1, grabs 2, and a 3rd, and almost the 4th there, but Herbs turns around in time to pick him up. And, well, that could have been nice, but unfortunately for him, only sitting there on the 3, which I guess in the end of the day is not too bad. Now Ofnu is going to have to deal with Sicko here. Easy kill for him, and Top Gun also picking up Herbs on the site. Another nice defuse coming out here for Legacy. They'll have 5 on the board. So Alpha Sydney, after winning that pistol round, haven't been able to close anything else out, really, apart from, I guess, the allotted 3 rounds that they do generally get.
Yes. Sicko's going to go with the AWP again this round. Havoc is still going to be using his. And at the start of the round, it's just 2 towards Banana for Legacy, so opting potentially for a more passive setup by the looks of things. It's just Lightstep is actually going to be throwing the AWP down there as well. So showing variance again on their CT side is Legacy. So that's nice to see. And Top Gun's going to come in and play supportive for him as well. So Sicko looking at the pants of one of his teammates.
Check them out.
Oh, just to unscope it slightly the wrong time there. Potentially could have caught Lightstep out, but wasn't to be. PZ Kid has made his way at the top of mid and is trying to push his way through.
Often in a great position to find one, avoids the flashbang very well, and he's going to spray through the smoke, does a lot of damage there to Echo as well, really getting his money's worth out of that position. Havoc coming around as well, he's going to find one, actually gets another one with the Molotov as well onto Wizard. So really, this round just looking easy as you like for Legacy at the moment. Often he's going to pick up Herbs. They do lose a player there. It's Havoc going down, but the double AWP is going to be saved there. So Legacy 6-3 up now, and look at all the cash in the bank there. 15,000 on the side of Ofnu. He's going to buy, obviously lose a bit there, but still looking fantastic.
Yes, and this is starting to head towards, the needle is starting to move towards the sign of complete slaw for Legacy. They're really, I mean, Alpha Sydney have made their way into the bomb site on a couple of occasions, but really haven't been able to do anything with that. And you can see 3 at the top of Banana to start with as well for Legacy.
Lightstep is going to get the entry frag there onto Wizard. The bomb also just sitting down there in the T-spawn for Alpha Sydney, so really not making any committed movements towards either bomb site just yet, but Legacy with this push down Banana, if they do opt to push out of Banana, will spot out that bomb. There's APOC.
Oh, and he has indeed. He's pushed down And he's made his way just on top of Vietnam here, and this could go pear-shaped.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, gee. I didn't know who was going to win that duel there, honestly. Feels like every time someone's been caught off guard, they've sort of just like flicked around and headshotted someone. But in the end there, PZ Kid did pick it up.
Yeah, that's caused a rotate of 2 players towards the B bomb site, but committing to A bomb site is Alpha Sydney, and they pick up Havoc, who is playing in the cubby. Cobden comes around the corner, gets one. Offnu
Nice.
picks up one as well, and it's just left to Herbs, who finishes it off. So again, Alpha Sydney being able to show signs of being able to break into the bomb site, but not able to actually finish it off and fully take a bomb site and come through with another round. Excluding, of course, winning the pistol round and the 2 subsequent eco rounds from Legacy. So coming out with attack pause is Wizard from Alpha Sydney, and that is a good idea at this stage. 4 rounds left in this half, so 5 rounds left in this half, rather. If they're able to pick up, say, 2 or even 3 of the last 5 rounds, then they're going to be sitting themselves in a pretty good position, such as the bias of Inferno. No, not attack. Is a timeout from Sicko, and that's a disconnection timeout rather than a pause timeout, as they get called in basketball at least. So we'll take a quick look at the scoreboard, and it's Offnu again on top.
He's been having a pretty good night. APOC as well. I mean, he was a little quiet on Mirage, but certainly was doing a pretty good job on Cache. So Offnu and APOC doing good work for Legacy, but I guess on the other side for Alpha Sydney, we don't know exactly what Sicko's scoreline has been like. I feel like he's been a little bit quiet here on the T side of Inferno. I mean, they opted to give him that AWP in the 2 eco rounds that they had, and he wasn't really able to get anything out of it. So I feel like he's a kind of a key player that needs to really wake up here for Alpha Sydney if they want to get anything done.
He's certainly been given the equipment and the ability to do, seemingly the ability to pick where he would like, and has not been able to come up trumps too often. So I think Havoc's also been pretty important for Legacy.
He's picked up, doing a good job.
Yeah, he's been locking out that. He's been at least making it problematic for Alpha Sydney at the top of the mid. So that's been pretty good on their behalf.
I mean, Alpha Sydney haven't really looked like they were going to be getting into any of these rounds almost. Like, every time they would go towards Banana, Lightstep was there with the AWP, gets himself a frag, and then they go down mid, Havoc's there. And if they even get past Havoc, you've got APOC or an Offnu on the A-bomb site, making things difficult, or Top Gun even as well. I mean, everyone on Legacy is really just chiming in here, and Alpha Sydney just don't seem to have a way to really deal with it.
Yeah. You're watching Cybergamer TV, and it is the matchup between Legacy and Alpha Sydney. This is the 3rd map in the best of 3. The first one went to Alpha Sydney 16-13 on Cache, if you're slightly other way inclined. The second one was Legacy's map, obviously, sending us to the 3rd. And remind me of the score again on that one, Jordan. 16
on which one, Mirage? Or
Mirage, yeah.
16... Was it 13 as well?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
I think they're both 16-13.
Yep. So we're on to this 3rd map. We're in the first half. 7-3 is the scoreline currently in Legacy's favour, and they've had all the momentum. The first 3 rounds went in Alpha Sydney's favour, but the remaining are 7, and all the gun rounds thus far going to Legacy. So they'll be pretty happy with where they're at this stage. But while we're just sort of waiting for our friend Sicko to join back into the server, and you're back on screen, Jordan. Excellent. You love that. The surprise. We should probably thank our sponsors, which is it's the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 season, and mwave.com.au is your best place to go and pick up all your PC parts and whatnot. Personally, I've had a lot of good experiences using their website, and I always look to try and support those who support us in eSports in Australia. So Mwave, thanks again for your support, but also Turtle Beach, Netgear, Plantronics, Logitech, and AK Racing. And I guess particularly pertinent for you guys at home is the Netgear sponsorship, because you can win yourself a Nighthawk X4S router. It does all sorts of crazy awesome stuff. It's ADSL2 plus. It's also WAN compliant, so you can run NBN or cable internet through this. It's got the 802.11ac Wi-Fi standard, which if you're non-geeky, which means your best Wi-Fi that currently consumer standard Wi-Fi that is out there as well. Quality of service, so you can prioritize your gaming over your mum's Snapchats, that sort of stuff. And the price is valid at $428 on mwave.com.au. But simply by watching this channel, or CGTV_Smite for all the Smite action, or CGTV_CSGO, you can earn 1 point for each minute you watch. Subscribers, if you subscribe to CGPL event, you get double points. And at the end of the whole season, the top 15 watchers will enter a draw, and one of those people will win the Netgear Nighthawk, rather, not the Night Gear.
Night here.
Yeah, it's Night here, but you can win yourself a Netgear Nighthawk X4S router. So make sure.
Try saying that 5 times fast, Mike.
X4S times fast, perhaps. But yeah, all you got to do is watch. And hopefully you're enjoying the coverage. If you are, and you like what you're seeing on screen, or perhaps you prefer it when we're off screen, the Counter-Strike is on screen, but you can hear our voices instead. That's probably more likely the case. If you subscribe to CGPL event, all the proceeds will go back to the casters, all the talent team involved in this season CGPL, and it'll help us get to the LAN, all that sort of stuff. And it's very nice that Cybergame are doing that rather than pocketing their money themselves. And as a bonus for you, something else that you get back is you'll get a month of CG Premium on the website. So just make sure you check the website for details. But thankfully, you can stop listening to all this, and we can go back into the not the website, but back into the game itself and continue. The score is 7-3. It is 1 apiece on this best of 3 CGPL Autumn 2016 season. Mwave.com.au is the title sponsor.
Alrighty, Lightstep once again getting in towards that car position with the AWP. Isn't going to spot anyone out just yet, but it does seem like someone's going to pick him. Indeed, it is going to be the case. PZ Kid goes there. Havoc in mid as well to pick up one with the AWP. So the double AWP setup still working very well for Legacy. And Alpha Sydney finding themselves once again in a dangerous position. Havoc doing an interesting push there. I got to kind of question some of the pushes he's been bringing out here on Inferno so far.
But it's kind of it has been his style.
It's his thing, yeah.
It's his thing, but I don't know. I feel like it's been working pretty well overall within CGP. But outside of that, I don't feel like it's been working for him a lot of the time, except for the odd map where he's really on point. But they still have the numbers advantage. So, and again, they're going to head towards this B-bomb site, which really, they've been able to sort of get their way onto the steps of the fountain, but not much further than that. But Sicko gives a lovely pick on the light step, and that's the contact play into the B-bomb site. Offnu's up on the barrels there. He gets taken down as well, so Sicko's picking up the double kill, and he's starting to have that impact that he needs to have if Alpha Sydney are going to have a chance in this third map. So the retake will come in. There's plenty of cash on Legacy's behalf.
Top Gun and APOC retaking this bomb site, or at least tasked with the retake. We'll see if they can actually pull it off. Top Gun will find Herbs, and also not quite landing the spray down there. It looked very close onto Echo. Does drop him down to a little bit of HP, but now a 1 versus 2 for Sicko, and he goes down as well. Just a fantastic retake from Legacy, and really Alpha Sydney, I don't even think they really fired a shot off on that.
Shots fired.
With the exception of Echo.
No shots fired. And they pick up one of the 2 AWPs, but it doesn't really matter because Offnu could drop one anyway for days, it feels like, or at least for 3 rounds. It was another. It was one. Again, we saw in Mirage there was a number of scenarios where Legacy were able to take a number of disadvantaged scenarios and go ahead and win them. And again, Alpha Sydney just having trouble in those mid to late round scenarios and closing some of these rounds out. And that's at least got the bomb down, so they're able to buy again. But no AWP, which was their key to getting into the bomb site last time, at least. So just working back. Looks like they want to hit A rather than B. Perhaps they're getting a little bit sick of getting shut down.
Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what Alpha Sydney can do on this A-bomb site. They have gone here a couple of times, and they've actually managed to get into the site and get a plant a couple of times as well, but the retakes for Legacy have always been there, and even a lot of the times they haven't actually gotten in the first place. So I don't know about this A site, but obviously the B bomb site not working out too well for Alpha Sydney either. So I guess they've got to go somewhere. And at least in this round, the A bomb site. Well,
it was a half-hearted fake. It was a half-hearted fake, really, but they have sort of managed to draw off the player there as well. So it's just one alive on the B bomb site with all the work to do, and that is Ofnu. Correction, at Top Gun rather. It was Ofnu last round, but not this round. So the B execute's going to come in, and he's going to have to delay. But backup is here in the form of Lightstep.
And he does get the Molotov down. Alpha Sydney, though, keen to run straight through. It doesn't work out too well for them. You can see Herbs down to 9 HP, Sicko down to 25. Top Gun managed to grab one, but a lot of damage going across from that Molotov. Alpha Sydney, though, do manage to pick up Lightstep there, courtesy of Sicko. Now APOC going to have to go in that duel. And the grenade going to come across here. What? Sicko looking very nice at the moment. Two very nice shots. He did go down to the grenade, but will be retrieved there by Wizard. Alpha Sydney, or more importantly, Sicko really looking like they're starting to come back into this one.
Yeah, leading the charge well and truly in terms of frag count, and backed up by the other new recruit for Alpha Sydney. So perhaps the headline that we were talking about at the start of the match is finally coming to fruition for Alpha Sydney.
Took a little bit to get going.
Yeah, but of course it's plenty of action still ahead of us. It's 8-4, and one of the problems here for Alpha Sydney is they're going to have to string a second round in a row. Otherwise, their economy is going to be shattered, and they'll be back in that awkward scenario.
Or APOC is going to get an easy kill here. Wizard, though, did manage to take out Top Gun, so they're 4 apiece. As I say that, though, Wizard gets a second entry onto the B-bomb site. Lightstep going down. And the B-bomb site completely open here once again for Alpha Sydney, so working out for them.
The problem here is the fact that the bomb was sitting all the way back on the stairs and they weren't expecting to get those 2 kills.
Oh, nice.
And that was collateral as well. Oh, the Havoc there. He got tagged down to 20 through APOC, so that's going to shut out the round here, I feel, for Alpha Sydney. And Ofnu still wants to try and get a little bit of damage in there, but his teammate already, Havoc, had bailed. So
yeah. I don't know about Ofnu taking that duel there, but in the end he goes down. And
you can see how quickly on the CT side the economy dwindles down. I mean, 3 of the players aren't going to be able to buy in this one. Havoc may be able to drop his. He's not going to be able to do it, no. Second round loss, so he's probably not going to be able to scrap together a buy here. So it'll be an eco, possibly a pistol armor for a few of the players, and Havoc will keep the weapon that he has at the moment. And there we go.
Oh, they're going to force. Okay.
Yeah. And
they really want to make this a 10-5 half, I guess.
Yeah, they do. And I can kind of understand, because this is, I mean, they forced this one and send Alpha Sydney back. They're going to have a half-hearted buy, but they've got a full buy at this stage, and it's just going to be a 2-3. Very standard setup from a Legacy at this stage. And the one at the banana is Sicko, the one who's been doing quite a bit of damage, although Wizard got 2 lovely entries in that last round onto the B-bomb site. But it looks like they're going to go towards an A execute to start with here. All set up in place at this point for Alpha Sydney.
Importantly here for Legacy is that they haven't got any orbs in their hands, and that was really where they were coming out ahead of Alpha Sydney. They were getting those early orb kills as Legacy, or Alpha Sydney rather, tried to get some map control. So we'll see how they do in this round without those orbs. And starting us off is Havoc with the M4 onto Wizard, doing pretty good. So already a good start in this one here for Legacy.
And they're going to try and take on Ofnu here. But they don't realise he's in here, and APOC's going to bait here, so he's going to step out and pick up 2, and not quite the 3rd, but Echo finally trading off. But it's a 2 versus 4 now in favour of Legacy being the 4.
I honestly thought he was going to get that 3rd man there as well, but really in the end he did his job, got the 2 for 1, and they still have a big player advantage because of it. Now Lightstep has moved across all the way towards the A-bomb site. You can see Top Gun at the bottom of mid as well, so there's no way Alpha Sydney is getting out of here alive. APOC just on the site, and Havoc playing in pit. They've got that good crossfire set up here. I'm just waiting now for Alpha Sydney to come in here. The Molotov is coming across. APOC will have to reposition, but he does spot out one of those players. That's Herbs. Echo is going to get the bomb down in the smoke there, but he loses his teammate as a result. And a good shot from Lightstep is going to take him out there. So a pretty nice looking round coming out from Legacy in the end there.
Yeah, did well, huh? Can't complain. Winning the round. And, with the bomb plant as well, it's going to be allow Alpha Sydney to buy in this final round. Have AKs across the board, and Sicko will be able to afford his AWP with armor if he so chooses. It's gone initially for the AK, so they're going for a 5 AK strategy. Perhaps we'll see something a little bit quicker for them. Feeling that the slower approach hasn't really worked for them, and the two occasions, I mean the first occasion where they won a round, a gun round that is, was on the back of Sicko's 2 AWP picks on B, and the second time was against a quick double entry from Wizard. So instead, Havoc picking up one at the start of the round there, but look at the banana presence as well, so he's going to have to be careful here. As he picks up his second here, goes for the third, doesn't make the kill, so Wizard trading out there, and APOC is right behind, and it's going to be all over for Alpha Sydney here. Just the one left alive for Sicko. Is Sicko for Alpha Sydney, and it's going to be a 10-5 half for Legacy there. So
it is
33 seconds that round took, as game informs us. So what do you think? I think that's it's enough for Legacy to be able to close this one out.
Well, hopefully for my prediction, Legacy wins the pistol and closes it out from here, because I said 16-5 was going to be the first, was going to be the scoreline.
That's true. 5 rounds in a row on the T side.
I guess let's go with that.
Well, I've got a 3 spare up my sleeve, and I'm going to get the prediction correct, but we'll see what Legacy want to do as they're heading towards, looks like a straight hard B, but they cop a little bit of a nade, and there is 2 waiting for them in the B bomb side if they choose to push in.
Yeah, there certainly is, and the smoke grenade coming down on the B site as well, at least in towards Banana here, so Legacy just stuck behind it for the moment.
Alpha
waiting.
Sydney, yeah.
This is the typical Inferno sort of play here. It's just sitting behind the smoking banana. But anyway, PZ Kid here from CT has to find 2, but he's only going to get 1. He doesn't actually go down anyway, but as I say that, Havoc takes him out through the smoke there. The bomb will be planted as well here for Legacy. This is looking okay. They have the player advantage, and they have the site, and they have the bomb down. Plenty of time as well to get into some nice post-plant positions. You can see a couple there in the banana and a couple on the site. Would have been nice to get one into connector, but they didn't have time for that. And now Alpha Sydney making their way through connector. Echo is going to spot out Offnu and picks him up as well. Havoc just peeking in from banana there as well. He's going to just try and delay things a little bit with this decoy grenade, I guess. I thought it was going to be a flash coming out, but in the end it is going to be a 1 versus 1. Havoc is just going to be hiding down here by the grill. Sicko gonna go down there, and actually a very nice shot coming out from Havoc. I don't know, maybe that decoy put a second thought into Sicko's mind, who knows.
No, I think
anyway,
I think you had that booked there.
I was clutching at straws, but in the end anyway, Legacy picking up the pistol round is really where we were going with that one.
Yeah, you were clutching at straws, and Havoc was just clutching. Picking up, and he's going for the scout now, so
I'll pay that.
Yeah, you'll pay that one? Excellent. So going on to and this is where the pressure of being on that T half to start with gives the CT a force buy here from Alpha Sydney here. Pistol armor in the second round. We saw it didn't work for Legacy, but can Alpha Sydney make it work in this scenario? And they're just going for a little bit of apps presence at A and a top of banana presence as well. And Legacy are just kind of waiting at this point for them to come out and get...
Yeah, well, Alpha Sydney almost have to make this work, because if they don't, they're going to really be screwing around their economy a little bit. So an important round coming out here for Alpha Sydney. Legacy, not so much, but of course they'd like to get this one done as fast as possible.
Double stack nice and close there, so the right flashbang will ruin this B stack for them entirely, Alpha Sydney, and that right flashbang...
That's the right flashbang.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out too well for Legacy. They only sent that one player in there, and very good read coming out here from Alpha Sydney. You can see the rotate coming out across almost immediately. Havoc having a bit of trouble getting down Wizard there, but eventually goes down to Offnu. APOC does pick up, or get picked up rather, by Sicko. A good grenade coming out here again from Alpha Sydney. They're making good use of their utilities in this round. Now it's down to these 2 final players for Legacy. Offnu will be able to pick up Sicko. It's a 3 versus 2. They do know exactly where Offnu is up in Graveyard there, but PZ Kid is going to get the shot across there with the CZ. And now down to Lightstep, 1 on 3. See if he can close it out. Both these players from Alpha Sydney pretty low, but Lightstep as well, very low, goes down. So Alpha Sydney picking up that crucial round where they forced up in.
Will Legacy buy back? We will see. That's the question. Yes, they do, and that is a pretty good move, I feel, as well, from Legacy. Being on the, doing not a massive investment, 3 pistol armors, but if they can sort of stop the economy on Alpha Sydney's side really starting to build up, It's going to give them a lot more chances to sort of work their way into the match on the T side and get the remaining 5 rounds that they need.
Okay, I think it's all good. As you mentioned, Legacy forcing up here. A couple of Tech 9s to work with, a few pistols, and we'll see what they can do. APOC has got himself some nice map control up in towards the A-bomb site, top of mid. And Alpha Sydney, just not sure where they want to float Sicko at the moment. He's just hanging around in CT, waiting for either side to really call him across. It is going to be APOC taking the duel, and Sicko will win that one. Now, the rest of the Legacy players have to try and make something out of this one. You can see still 2 players on the B-bomb site here for Alpha Sydney, and that is where Legacy are deciding to head. They have left Top Gun on that A-bomb site, perhaps trying to pick up a rotator coming out of a pit or something like that, but he is going to be falling back as well, so see where he goes. Coming out towards Boiler? Nope. Maybe just rejoining the team now in Banana.
Yep, he's doing that, and they have 30 seconds on the clock, so they're going to commit to this B-bomb site. And Wizard wants to peek for this info here and push down mid, so into the bomb site they come. 2 to deal with, 4 on their tongue.
This should be an easy cleanup here for Alpha Sydney, and indeed it is. Sicko picks up 1. Herbs picking up 2, and RB... words too hard, Mike. Herbs picks up 1, and Peasy Kid picks up 2.
Herbs just put an S on the end of his name, so is that Herbs?
Herbs.
Herbs. Anyway.
I don't even want to know. I'll be honest.
To be honest.
Too hard.
Yep. So full eco now for Legacy. 11-7 is the scoreline. They are up, but they're on this pretty tough side in T on Inferno. And look at Alpha Sydney. Just rolling. Actually, this is the perfect counter for this strategy right here. Is pushing out through the Alps and onto the bomb site as they all rush down mid, and the bomb will get planted here. And this is a massive win for Legacy.
Yep, Offnu does manage to get a pretty good position in Boiler there as well. Slows things down. Herbs is going to push these players on the site, but they managed to get it into the site okay. Now a few of those players stuck on the site here for Alpha Sydney, but really the one to be wary of here is Offnu. He's going to get a nice flash down and actually gets the kill through the flash as well. This is not looking good at all for Alpha Sydney. Legacy now in a 2 versus 1. Top Gun and Offnu, the players to watch. Herbs now... not really in a very great position. Top Gun and Offnu just really going to be able to play the timer here. And Herbs trying to get onto that bomb, try and force something out here, but we'll see what happens. He gets the 1 onto Offnu. Doesn't know where Top Gun is though, and Top Gun is going to go down. But in the end, around to Legacy, and that's the important part here for those guys.
Yeah, that's going to be devastating for Alpha Sydney because... yeah, I mean, that was against a full eco. That was a full eco win from Legacy, and they were just basically... the strat that Alpha Sydney ran was just hoping that it would be at the bottom of mid or going into Banana, and they weren't. The Molotovs, the nades were all on point from Alpha Sydney, and they just rushed all the way down and held nobody back on the site, watching the A-bomb site. And the perfect counter by luck, I guess you could say, was from Legacy, and that was heading towards... the A-bomb site through the apps, and they pick up another round. So 12-7 at the scoreline. APOC picks up 1 from Boiler, catching Wizard unawares. And now they sit down, and they're hoping for another mistake from Alpha Sydney here.
Yeah, well, they've already taken advantage of that first one, and there is going to be the peek out into the top of mid here from Legacy. APOC will find 1. Peasy Kid, though, coming from the bottom of mid, does manage to get the double kill after a little bit of tapping, and might be able to bring it back here for Alpha Sydney now. 2 versus 3. Bomb is down though for Legacy, and they have got that 1 player in the pit, so some reasonable post-plant positions here. They're going to need to be able to play this one well. They don't have any utilities to work with, and Herbs is going to find a nice early frag there onto Offnu. Top Gun has been spotted out as well. I don't think this is a situation he can win in. Unfortunately for Alpha Sydney, Sicko's dropped out, but shouldn't play too much of a role in this round unless Top Gun comes up with something massive. He does manage to take down Herbs, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Peasy Kid with the job to finish it off, and he does. So that was a little too close for comfort, but now, of course, we're going to probably have a pause coming out here, I think, because Sicko going to have to rejoin us.
Yes. Well, that's going to be a little bit harsh on Legacy, although with a bomb going down, it's not as bad economically speaking for them. And I think Sicko's just having a little bit
Speaker's having some issues.
Yeah, joining back into the server. Well, I guess... I think potentially Legacy should think about buying in this scenario. Because if they're able to do that, they're going to be able to effect a full reset here on the CTs. So potentially that might be an idea, although they all seem to be more focused on the technical issue at hand.
Yeah.
And speaking of technical things, your lovely face is back on camera, Jordan. Gives a big smile. Oh,
How'd I do?
that. Look at that. What was the... do we know the score from the Immunity Ferox match? I believe
it was 2-0 in the favour of Immunity. I don't know the map scores.
Okay.
But best team in the world, Ferox, unfortunately went down to Team Immunity. So
best team in the world?
Well, I mean, from certain people's point of view.
Whose point of views would those certain people's be, Jordan?
Who do you think, Mike?
Yours?
Oh, I mean, I think they're all right.
Oh, okay. Not best in the world, though.
Probably not best in the world. I don't know.
No. Would it be Pixel's perspective, perhaps?
I don't know. Maybe we can ask Wooly. I know he likes Pixel.
Oh dear, this is what happens.
This is what happens when it's paused.
10:50. Right, he is making his way back into the bomb site. Not the bomb site.
The bomb. Jeez, we're really going downhill at the moment, aren't we? Two failed introductions.
Tilt train population off.
It's just like it's going off the rails at the moment, guys. I swear.
It literally, yeah, off the rails. It's not on rails where it should be. But Sicko's back in the server, people. Rejoice. Rejoice. Enjoy. Match will be unpaused very shortly. And we can stop looking at Jordan's ugly mug.
What?
What? Who said that?
Who did say that?
I don't know.
Come on, please start this game. I am so hungry. I've refrained from so long.
Refrained from so long?
Shut up. It's too hard. My life is too hard.
Oh, tell me about your woes, Jordan. Tell me all about your woes.
We've been casting for 3 hours now.
Yeah?
And my GoTV's lagging. And I don't even know. At least I'm not playing for Legacy because, you know what? They have to actually go to the airport after this game. So the longer this game goes, the more stressed they're going to be going to the airport to leave for Malmo.
Yep.
So, you know, there's worse. There's worse. And let's see what happens. Legacy in the end decided not to buy. Okay, he's going to get spotted through the smoke. Well, there actually does spot through the smoke. Top Gun spamming gets the kill. But Legacy really, this is a bit of a throwaway round for them.
Perhaps they're joining us on the tilt train. They just want to get to SG to compete at that qualifier. But here's that kid using just about every single one of his bullets, although it was 27 to be precise, to get 2 kills. And this is going to tilt them hard. And you and I, probably, as well.
I don't know. Like, what can we do here? What's the fun game for, like, we should have, like, a drinking game for pauses, you know? I mean, we would get absolutely smashed on stream.
Yep. That is
I feel
option.
like the casting probably wouldn't get any worse if that was the case anyway.
Maybe
like,
not tonight.
At this stage. I just sort of, like, want to get some food.
Anyone
in Twitch chat have something we can talk about?
Yeah.
I know that's really throwing a curveball out. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, well, thankfully, we probably won't need Twitch chat's help.
Oh.
As helpful as it normally is, of course. So, Sicko is evidently having game issues rather than necessarily connection issues. What's his ping at? His ping's fine. So, 12-9. Closer and closer, we are inching towards a result, Jordan.
Slowly but surely.
And it's a buy round as well, except for Lights. Well, it's still a buy round for Lights, but he's just unfortunately gotten the short end of the stick. in the terms of the Galil, which I feel is a shocking weapon.
We all know your opinions on the FAMAS and the Galil. I have one question though. Which one do you think is better?
I think it's a FAMAS.
You think?
I think. I don't know. Galil has like next to the Deagle like one of the worst spray patterns in the game. So you're much better off buying a P90, I feel, than a Galil.
All right. What about a UMP? I think UMP. I love UMP. Anyway, there is action happening across the map. It is going to be Legacy looking like they're getting a bit of an advantage here. 3 kills in their favor. Only 2 for Alpha Sydney. They'll also get the bomb down as well. And this is going to be difficult here for Alpha Sydney to try and take this bomb site because they're going to have to deal with Lightstep first in mid. PZ Kid is going to have the job of it. And he's going to peek into mid. Nice little crouch, but the trade is there. Offnu playing that one to perfection, gets the double man spray down. Legacy 13 on the board here, and Alpha Sydney now. Economy broken.
Shattered. Rather like everybody's hopes of a quick game tonight. But full credit to Alpha Sydney. They have been very good contenders so far, and they're not out of it yet. Talking like it's over, it's not. The economy on Legacy is a fantastic see there. And they're going for the nade strat. Down mid. Doesn't do anything because nades in this game are in fact useless. The pop flash comes through from Offnu and the slaw comes out from APUC, Top Gun, Offnu, and a second one from Offnu. And the man who started it finishes it. So 14-9 now. We're on the cusp of a result because Alpha Sydney are in this super awkward scenario where they don't have quite enough cash to buy properly for all players. So they've got 3 of the excellent rifle known as the FAMAS. If you want to call it a rifle, I prefer to call it a pea shooter, to be honest. But anyway, not a whole swag of utilities, whereas Legacy are looking fine. But PZ Kid loses the investment that he made with the AWP there, and it's a 5 versus 4 already with 1:30 left on the clock. But evening it up is RBZ, and he can potentially pick up that. But at the same time, the A side has been taken by Legacy, so 14-9 is the score, and they're looking like they potentially could get at least the bomb down in this scenario and put themselves in a good position.
Yeah, they will put themselves in a good position if they pick this round up as well. Obviously, Alpha Sydney trying to do their best to allow them to hang on in this game. Herbs with the ore. And really, they're having a bit of trouble with this retake because there is that smoke down there. Just slowing things down across on the library side of things. Herbs has got a little hole to peek through, but no one from Legacy is really too keen to show any part of them to that scope. Havoc is going to get one there. He's traded out by Sicko. Not too bad of a result there for Legacy as it still keeps things going slowly. Offnu is going to take down Sicko, and now Herbs in a 1 versus 2. Make it a 1 versus 1. He'll hit the no-scope as well onto APOC. I think he might not have time. He was so close.
He had a kit right there to pick up. He walked past the kit, so now he has to buy one for the next round, which is the last round of the half.
Would he have had time if he went and ran and picked up that kit and defused? Okay.
No, but he could at least pick up the kit, so he doesn't have to spend $400. But anyway, because that could be a FAMAS for someone, and everyone loves the FAMAS. 15-9 is the score. Legacy on the verge of remaining undefeated in CGPL Autumn 2016 season, brought to you by mwave.com.au. And the haphazard buy 2 pistols, a UMP, a Mag 7, and the AWP save from last round from Herbs on Alpha Sydney is all they have to take on the full might of the Legacy army. Will they be able to do it? My guess is no.
I guess you are probably right, but we will see what happens. There is the 4 stack on the A-bomb side here from Alpha Sydney, but there you go. Herbs is going to go down in the banana area, so Legacy obviously know that there is at least an opening there. Wizard is going to be able to take down APOC though, and now it's going to be Offnu going down as well, pushing the smoke. Legacy perhaps a little bit too keen to close this one out, as they're playing a little bit too aggressively here. A little bit too crazy. Let's see what Top Gun can do as he tries to jump out of Boiler here. He will catch Sicko off guard. Also going to be able to pick up Wizard there, but PZ Kid in mid is going to get a double kill for Alpha Sydney rather in response. Now it's down to Top Gun in this 1 versus 1. Only 2 HP on the board for him. If he hits the first shot onto Echo, maybe he's going to get that little bit of armor. Never mind. Echo picks it up. So another one on the board here for Alpha Sydney. They're going to hang on. Legacy probably shouldn't force up here either.
You're going to come against a pretty weak buy. Oh no, the buy's actually reasonable. It's better than I thought it would be. So a couple of pistol armors there. That's a pretty good investment from Legacy. So they'll just try and do a bit of damage and make sure if they get 2 or 3 kills. In fact, they're going to go hard B by looks of things, moving right up quickly onto the site. And it's Herbs and PZK to defend here. Nope. Fake.
Well, let's see if Legacy can pull out one of their sort of force eco rounds again here against Alpha Sydney, because they already got 2 on Mirage, and Alpha Sydney trying to do the same exact situation. They were 15-10 down, and they were up against the ecos, and obviously the ecos proved to be too strong. Whether or not that is going to be the case here on Inferno is the real question. They're going to try and rush in towards that B bomb site. Herbs picks up 1. But double kill in response there for Legacy. Now they're going to have to deal with these 3 remaining players from Alpha Sydney who are rotating across from the CT spawn. There's a bit of spam going through the smoke, but neither team tagged down too much. Havoc in the connector, in the construction zone. He's going to have a little bit of a job to do. The rest of the players on the bomb site. No one in Banana, interestingly enough. Lightstep should be an easy kill here, but the trade is good for Legacy. This could be the round. Wizard in a 1 versus 3, and he does go down. There it is. As you say, 16-10 the result in the favor of Legacy, and you see them just jumping straight out of the site, out of the server rather, probably running to the car and jetting off to the airport, or I don't even know, whatever they're going to try and do, but they certainly weren't too keen to hang around for some post-match banter at all.
Not at all. A little bit tilted with the number of pauses going on there, but they got away with a win in the end, and it was 16-10.
16-10.
Yeah, 16-10, and the second map was 16-13 on Mirage in Legacy's favour after they dropped the first one to Alpha Sydney. 16-13 on Cache. We're not going to hang around too much because it's pushing on a bit. And
it is.
But the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 season is brought to you, of course, by Mwave, but also Turtle Beach, Netgear, Plantronics, Logitech, and AK